lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fanatics Collect Premier Auction Extended Bidding Watch Party for January the 23rd, 2025. My name is Jeremy Lee. I am glad to be here. Adam Gray, the Real 27 guy, will be joining us shortly. He is running a little bit behind, but he will be joining us very soon. Excited for this episode. 120 items in the Premier. That's more than we've seen in a couple of months, and there are some absolute bangers. I cannot wait to look at them. We've got some Gretzky rookies we are going to dive into, among many other cards. It is a good-looking auction tonight, you guys. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And yes, Linda's first. That is Yzerman's rookie here with the little picture of the headshot in the bottom corner. I think 83 Topps Baseball had that same design. The Ryan Sandberg, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs year. Also a great looking set of cards, vintage cards. We're just a little chat talk there from earlier. Now, as I mentioned, Adam will be here soon. I always like to say, Adam, it's our favorite night of the month, and he loves this night. So he is racing home right now in order to join us here. If you're watching on Instagram, guys, come on over to YouTube, where the action is much better. We can chat, we can talk, we can interact over on the YouTube channel. Instagrammers, come on over there. Feel free. There is a link in my bio on Instagram to come over to YouTube. Louis, I see you there. Valor, Barkov, Star, Ryan's Cards, Luongo, Crazy Eights, whole bunch of you guys over there. Alvin, come on over to YouTube, you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to play some this or that tonight a little bit later on. We got a brand new batch of those going on. Boston Authentic, Mark, what is going on? The PSA 10 LeBron Black is sweet. Pop 21. That is sweet. Louis came over from Instagram. Thank you, Louis. Good to see you, pal. Welcome over to here. Well, why don't we jump in and take a look at some of these cards? I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here because, Adam's going to come and, he likes to share his thoughts, knowledge, analysis on all the cards as well. Laura, welcome to the show. Good evening. Glad to see you here as per usual. Now, why don't we do this? Why don't we get into a little screen share action here, guys? And let's just maybe run through these cards sort of from top to bottom. And right out of it, look at that. 3 cards over 6 figures all ready to kick us off. A 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth, the green portrait. That card has grown on me. I don't know about you guys, but I always liked the yellow portrait the most. There are a couple of them in this auction tonight. I still do. I also like the standing pose, the card I bought recently, but this green card here has really grown on me. It just has, and I love it. A Star 101 and a PSA 8. It's at $160,000. We've got a championship ticket, Tom Brady rookie out of 100 at 120K. I mean, those used to sell for $1 million. Some Jordans, and a nice LeBron superfractor. This PSA 7 Mickey Mantle 51 Bowman rookie is a very nice copy. We'll analyze that shortly. And here is the card that Boston Authentic was mentioning. Let's take a look at this. 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron James, the black refractor PSA 10. Now, guys, if we look at the back of this card, you'll see it's serial numbered to only 500 copies. That's actually very few for a card like this from 2003. And now there is, I believe, the gold refractor out of 50, but this is going to be much more affordable for many people. Even I say that, and we see it's at 85,000, which is over 100 out the door with buyer's premium. But this is a nice card, and I kind of want to zoom into it and see if we can see anything wrong with it, because it is a gem mint PSA 10, and like the corners show no sign of white at all. Do you guys notice that? No sign of white. Otherwise, we would see it in the back corners or the edges as well. I'm seeing no sign of white whatsoever. This is a very nice copy of the card. It's to the point where you can't even really see where the border ends and the background of the scanner, the scanning environment, the image capture environment begins. We can't even tell. That tells me this is a very, very strong copy. It's hard to assess centering on this card, guys, because you can see that we can't really, it's hard to see exactly where the edge of the card is. So it looks to be well centered though. Let's go to the back and see what we can see here. Not noticing any flaws or defects whatsoever. Of course, I can't, when you're assessing the condition of a card, it's so important to know that you can't just do it in 2 dimensions looking at a screen. To truly assess the condition of a card, you have to hold it in hand, move it around in the light. Fanatics does a good job with some of their videos for sure, coming from these old PWCC days, but it's still, you can't do it completely. So we have to keep that in mind. That said, this card, this is one of those cards where it looks to me to be so good that if someone said, hey, I want to try sending this to Beckett, maybe it would get a black label. Maybe it's all four subgrades would be 10s. Could be I'm not saying it is, but like this card looks to me to be absolutely perfect. So yeah, that it is a sweet card. Boston Authentic. It's a pop 21 with a print run of 500. That's a pretty low gem rate right there as well. It's about what's that, about a 4% gem rate. So not too bad. Jacob Dahl, what's up? Welcome to the show. And guys, if you are bidding on anything in the auction tonight, if you are planning on bidding on anything or thinking about it, I have pinned to the top of the YouTube chat the Sports Cards Live affiliate link. And if you would be so kind as to click that before you bid on anything, that will earn Sports Cards Live a small commission. And I mean, if you buy a big card, it'll be a big commission. I'll be extra grateful. But generally speaking, they're small commissions, but they do add up. And I'm always thankful for all the support that you guys send this way by clicking on the link. So please feel free to do that if you are so obliged. All right, let's go back here. We talked about that LeBron. Again, really, really nice card. I want to look at this mantle. Let's look at this mantle right away. This is a PSA 7 near mint 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie, and it's in a new slab, but you can tell that it was graded a long time ago because this is a very old serial number. So with that said, I want to look at this card, and it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. Is it a 7? I don't see why it isn't. I'm seeing something I don't like about it, but generally speaking, when you sit back and you look at this card, it presents very well. Great color. The registration seems to be really strong. It's not perfect, but it is very strong. You don't really, sometimes on this card, when you're looking at this card, you want to look at the bottom of see the bottom black border here, guys, and then you've got these green sort of trees in the background. Oftentimes you'll see the bottom of the tree come underneath the black line. We're not seeing that in this case, but that's one of those little sneaky things to look for. Another sneaky thing to look for on this card is on the nameplate where it says Mickey Mantle here. Oftentimes we will see a heavy snow effect, or we will see fish eyes. I'm seeing minimal snow and no fish eyes. I really like that about this card. Going to the edges and the corners. Top edge is beautiful. Top corners are beautiful. Not perfect, but beautiful. Left and right edge, from what I can see on the right edge, very sharp. Left edge, I can't really tell. It's hidden by the ridge in the PSA holder. Bottom edge looks great. Little rough, but nothing serious. Bottom right corner is great. The bottom left corner has a bit, it looks like a bit of gloss loss right down there. But the thing that I noticed that I mentioned about a minute ago is we have some surface damage right here on his sleeve and his upper arm towards the elbow. That is definitely surface scrape. It might even come into the cloud here a little bit. I'm not quite sure. And that's a problem for the card. It's certainly a defect. And is that, like, I ask myself, if that wasn't there, would this be, what grade would this be? Would this be a 9? I mean, is that a 2-point penalty for this surface scratch? To me, that is worthy of like a 2-point penalty. I don't like it. I'm a surface guy. All aspects of surface. What does that mean? Well, centering, registration, and then damage to the surface itself. That's what I consider to be surface. I don't think PSA considers that to be surface. I think they look at them all separately. I don't believe Beckett Grading considers that to be surface. I don't think that they really consider registration as much, or centering is its own, of course, but they are all parts of the overall surface of the card. And with that said, this is still a great copy. Is it a 7 today? With, we can see that old serial number. The centering is not perfect, but it's still within PSA 9, 8 for sure ranges. The other thing I notice is this right edge. It's got a little bit of weird toning right to the edge, right at the edge of it. Just a little bit of, do you see that little bit of discoloration? It's along the right edge. So I hesitate to think that this card would be a 6 today. Sorry, would be a 7 today. I hesitate to think it would be a 7 today. I think it's more likely to be a 6, kind of at best are my thoughts, but who knows? You never know. You never know what you're going to get with grading, but it's still a nice copy. If you don't mind this scraping on the elbow and the sleeve, it's still a nice copy. Turpin Forcer saw it as well. Yep, good catch, says Linda. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Jake Dahl asks me if the affiliate link works also with buy it now on Fanatics site. Yes, it does. It'll work. I believe it will work, Jacob, if you were to click it and then go into the different types of platforms here. If you click that link, you can go to auction up here, Premier, where we are tonight, buy now. Those are the buy it now listings. I think it will work with those, Jake. Appreciate it if you were to, if you want to give it a shot, I can let you know, and I can look at that myself. Vintage wants to know, how did the Mantle get an eye appeal designation? Let's go back to the Mantle. Yeah, I didn't even, thank you, Vintage, because I didn't even realize that until you just said it. And I think it's because I said, when you look at it from here, it's not that bad. It looks good. At the same time, though, I wouldn't have given it an eye appeal designation for a 7. If this was a 5, I'd give it an eye appeal designation. For a 7, though, I mean, the centering just isn't good enough. But tough to say. Mark, I'm flying solo for now. Adam had a basketball tournament. He told me he'd be here by 15 minutes in, which is in 2 minutes. So maybe he'll be here right away. So I am flying solo until he gets here, guys. I'm not used to doing this. I've usually got someone on the screen with me when I do my shows. So I appreciate you guys in the chat. Give me some comments, questions, what have you. Let's get you guys involved until Adam gets here, and then continue to be involved, of course, once Adam does get here. And I just want to, again, anyone on Instagram, feel free to come on over to YouTube. Jake says, when I click the link, it just, when it's about to go to the site, the link disappears. Jacob, I do not know why at all, but I want to say thank you for letting me know. When I click on the link, it just, when it's about to go to the site, it just disappears. I don't know why. I mean, but thank you for letting me know, Jacob. Maybe cut it and paste it into a browser, see what that does. That would be good as well. Good evening, Professor. So yeah, Adam he's literally, I think he's in a basketball tournament this weekend, or he's coaching it. I'm not sure, but he is certainly involved in it, and will be back. Will be with us very shortly. All right, let's see what else we have of interest. This is a nice gold prism out of 10 LeBron from 2020, Luka RPA. Boston Authentic asks, do I have my eyes on anything tonight? Not to bid on myself, but there are some. Yeah, there's one card I would love to bid on, and I'll tell you it as soon as we look at it. So we're just going to scroll, and this is one of them. I love Shaquille O'Neal. I have a nice little, not a huge collection, but I got some nice cards. This 2012 Prism Gold Shaq would be nice, but I don't need the BGS 10. I mean, give me a BGS 9, I'd be just as happy. So I'm not going to pay you the premium. That's at $15,000 right now. There's a nice. Now, is this an actual? Is this the actual card? I forget. Or is this one of those no, this looks to be an actual 86 Fleer Michael Jordan with a nice big gold autograph on it. The autograph grade's a 9. And I mean, I don't know why would that grade a 9? It looks so good. Like there's nothing wrong with that thing. Autograph grading, so silly, so silly. Okay, let's see what else we got. Let's go over to page 2. But first, let's see. Mark says, at first glance, the card looks pretty damn nice. Perhaps that's why I got. Well, that's exactly it, Mark. I think they get eye appeal designations if you look at it at arm's length. It's not, eye appeal is what you see. It's not when you inspect it under a loupe, or even the way that I do it. So, yeah, you are right. Jake Dahl says, okay, I did the copy and paste in my browser. It worked. Okay, that's great to hear. Thank you, Jacob. If you're going to use the Sports Cards Live affiliate link, everybody, that is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat, please copy it and paste it into a new browser bar. That will make sure that it does work for sure. Okay, let's see what we got next here. We've got a Paul Skeens. We've got a couple dual autos. We've got a Justin Herbert shield, a really nice Jordan embossed gold refractor out of 74 in a 9.5. That's a great card. Let's have a look for greening. I do see some. That's typical. It happens on these. And you just have to decide, actually, his legs are completely green over there. His arms are completely green. His face is completely green. The ball is greening a little bit. The rest of the card looks good, though, from what I can tell. Maybe a blotch right there, but that just could be the light. But in any event, there are only 74 of these. And I think this is one of those cards that, you're going to pay a premium if it isn't greening, and if it is, if you want the card, you're going to have to deal with it, because it's still at $21,000 the way it sits right now. It's still a very pretty card, no doubt about that. Vintage, what catches your eye first on the signed 86 Jordan, the auto or the centering? Oh, let's go back up and see what does, because I didn't really yeah, okay, Vintage. This is, I swear, this is what just happened. It's the auto. I didn't even realize that it was off-centered because I was so focused on the auto, but that is very much off-centered, as you so aptly state, very far off to the left. We're talking is that 80-20 centering, maybe 75-25? I mean, that is some poor centering. This card is not about the centering, though. This card is seriously about the gold Michael Jordan auto on the card. So Vintage, I didn't even see it until you just pointed it out. So yeah. Jason Newman says, what bothers you more, Jeremy? A big scratch on the front or something wildly off center? Oh man, that's tough, Jason. Wildly off center. I don't want either of them. Do I have to pick one? I mean, gosh, I don't want either. I don't want a wildly off-centered card. I do have a couple, and I love them. So maybe the scratch, maybe a big scratch on the front would be worse for me. But I don't know. That's tough. To me, it's kind of tied for me, I would say. Linda says, I think the green shows up more on gold areas. At least it looks that way. Mark says, just how much Martian moon dust can one tolerate? Has anyone heard where the Paul Skeens was purchased from? Never mind, my own backyard. Oh, you're talking about the debut patch, Laura. I think you're talking about that. All right, let's go back here. And there was another card I saw that I think that I wanted to touch on here. Love the essential credentials. Beautiful Kobe Bryant out of 73 at $32,000. An amazing card right there. We've got, here's another one that I would love to purchase. This one right here, guys. 1998 Fleer Brilliance, 24 karat gold, Shaquille O'Neal at a 24. It's a BGS 7.5. There's only 24 of these. So if I was, and Boston Authentic, you said to me, anything I have my eyes on, this would be my number one target so far that I've seen, in scrolling through tonight, during the show here. This would be my number one target in the auction. These are really cool cards. Only 24 copies produced. So Surface is a 6.5. Everything else is a 9. Let's see if we can figure out why the Surface is a 6.5. I mean, seeing some, I think that's just on the slab, because Beckett slabs are they just get all blotchy and stuff. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that really makes me say, oh, there it is. Like there's a little white spot there. I don't know what it is. A couple white spots. If any of you can see, sorry, I got to scroll down in the comments, get current here. No, nothing from you guys yet. If you see anything that you think caused, and I have to look at the back too, there's something right there, but that's not going to bring it down to a 6. So far it looks good. Maybe it's on the back. There's a serial number 15 of 24. Nothing yet sticks out to me to bring the surface down to a 6. So again, you need to have it in hand. There could be a fine scratch through it that we just can't see, but I'm not seeing why this card is so lowly graded as a 7.5 when the subgrades tell us that it's because of surface. Otherwise, this card is a pure mint card. Corners, centering, and edges all at 9. This is a great card. This is a great card. If I had 11K USD to spend right now on a card, I think I'd be buying this one. And I would put it with some of my other really awesome Shaquille O'Neal cards. But I don't right now, so I won't right now. And trust me, it hurts not to be able to buy big cards all the time. It doesn't hurt that bad, let's face it. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? But boy, would I like. Okay, Nick Leach throws out a theory. It looks like a scratch by the E on the front. A scratch by the E on the front. Okay, let's check that out. Look at that. Look what he found. Okay, hold on a sec. We're going to do this differently, guys. We're going to open this up in its own window, and we're going to zoom in that way. Let's see. Oh, why can't I? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I am not sure if this right here. Okay, here's what Nick Leach is talking about. This right here, is that a scratch? Is it in his shorts? Is it on the slab? I don't know, but Nick, I think you might have picked it out. I genuinely think you might have picked it out because I don't see anything else on the surface of this card that would bring it down to a 6.5 on surface. So maybe that is it. Yeah, good catch. I agree. That's a great catch. I didn't see that the first time myself. Okay, guys. In just 1 second, we are going to bring Mr. Adam Gray onto the show. And Adam, you are good on the Instagram. You're good on Instagram. There he is, everybody. Say hello to Mr. Adam Gray. Go enable your Instagram, and we are good to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. It's good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. We're having fun. We've been diving into a few cards. We've been talking about, this is the card, Adam, that if I could smack down 11,000 USD right now, tonight's auction, I think I'd buy this because look at the subgrades. The surface at a 6.5. Now, even though Nick Leach just pointed out this scratch right here on the E in O'Neal, that to me is pretty minor. Like it doesn't really catch my eye that much. I think that this is a card that even though I'm a surface guy, this card would be welcome in my collection. What do you think? Tell us your thoughts on the 24 karat gold Shaquille O'Neal.
It's such a rare set. As far as the 90s go, it's one of the rarest parallels. There's the greens to 10, and then some credentials are lower numbered, but the whole set's to 24. And the real story here is if Jordan was in this set, all of these guys would be like just next level. So as far as the condition goes, I'll tell you, I owned a Dirk of this card. It was in a PSA holder. And I looked the thing over like backwards and forwards. The reality is it's got this very soft front surface that's highly reflective, and you're going to have little scratches unless it was just put straight into a sleeve, straight out of the packet. It's really condition sensitive. I think that's probably it. But also look up, Jeremy. Look up in the upper part of the card, those darker parts. My guess is some of those are also like that one right below his right shoulder, or his right elbow. I'm guessing that's something too. It's just a very delicate, very delicate surface.
That's certainly not enough to bring it down to a 6.5, but I did point that out earlier. Someone said here, Tyson, says, you think this might be the Nike swoosh on his shorts? I don't know. I feel like I can see it actually coming on top of the E here. So a bit of it there, Tyson, seems to be on top of the gold E. So yeah, Michael's saying the same thing I just said there. By the way, Linda's first son is Michael. That's why I call him Linda or Michael interchangeably. But hello to Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Orlando, congratulations. I've seen many votes for you to get into the YouTube Hall of Fame in the last couple of days. So I'll be celebrating your induction. All right. Okay, so Adam,
Jeremy, one last thought on the surface, real quick, of the Shaq. There's some cards that when you see them in hand, the scratches are more obvious. You know, if you think about like a regular paper Topps card, it might have a scratch on it and may not even take away from it at all. But a card that refracts, or a card like this that has this ultra soft surface that sort of refracts in sort of a really crazy way, that if you take it and you turn it side to side, it's just so much more noticeable. So I wouldn't doubt Beckett here. I'm guessing that 6.5 is because you get that thing in hand and that little dark spot or that little thing that looks like a swoosh. I'll bet you those stand out more in person, honestly. I'll bet you they do.
Yeah, good point. Good point right there. All right, let's close this one down. We talked about this finest embossed refractor MJ. Pretty green on the Jordan, him on his full body shot here. His whole body seems to be, but outside of that, it looks pretty good. But you can't deny the green, even right here on the collar of the jersey. Some blotches of it here and over here. So, but there's only 74 of these. So, but we already talked about that one. At the risk of you repeating anything already said, anything you'd like to mention on this?
I know how much you love this card. I'm sure you guys said everything that needs to be said. 9.5 is awesome on that card.
9.5 is awesome as long as the condition doesn't change while it's in the holder. We talked about the Mickey Mantle, and then this is funny because someone in the chat asked me about this card. They said, "What do you notice first, the gold auto or the centering?" I said, "I didn't even notice it was off center because I was so focused on the auto. So the auto is what sticks out to me." How important is this card with this autograph, even with the centering that it is? And also, Adam, I can't see why the autograph isn't graded higher. Like, it's just so nice.
Yeah, I've noticed some of the grading on autographs from Beckett is really rough. People always talk about how tough PSA is, but on some of the autographs, like Beckett is crazy harsh. I actually saw an 86 Fleer that I thought was like the nicest autograph I'd ever seen on another player's card, and it was an 8. I mean, it was perfect. It was a perfect autograph. All the letters were laid down amazingly. There was no streaks, and it was an 8. So yeah. I wouldn't pay attention to that, and I don't think I wouldn't have noticed the centering either. I didn't notice the centering.
Oh, no, I didn't.
It's all about that gold auto. My question is this: we saw a gold autograph here on the premiere. I don't know. What do you think? Year and a half ago, and it went bonkers. It went absolutely nuts towards the end. I wonder if this is that same card. I don't know if it is. Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Because I've never seen another gold autograph. It was also in a Beckett holder. It was also in a Beckett holder.
You can always go through the More tab right here, guys, and sold items and do a search if you'd like. And these are things that are very easy to navigate on the Fanatics Collect website. Oh, but Yair tells us it's not the same card. By the way, what's up, Yair? Welcome to the show. Jeffrey Hart, welcome to the show. Found Treasures, welcome to the show. Good to have all you guys here. Always like seeing everyone in here. Yair goes on to say, I own the other copy. There are 2. Guys, a really quick announcement, if I may, though. Really quick announcement, guys. Rage has entered the building. Rage has entered the building. All right, Adam. We were just kind of scrolling quickly through. Let's continue that. We're just going to kind of go. That's bottom of page 2 already. So I'm going to go to page 3. I'm going to put this one at the top of page 2. We're going to reset, guys. We're going to put page 1 at the top of page 1. And we're going to go to page number 3. And we're going to start here. And we're just going to look. Ja Morant. This Mickey Mantle 52 Topps is a PSA 1. And it, this thing is pretty messed up, right? Like, look at that surface, the centering, the corners are rounded. There's bends and creases. In this condition, this card is still no less than $22,000. Like, is this like this and the Honus Wagner? Like, how many cards can look like this and still command respectable 5 figures? It's kind of mind-blowing in a way. Back looks good, but the surface has just got the surface has been really really worn down. But that's the thing about this 52 Tops Mantle. In any condition, it is worth a lot of money. So pretty interesting copy right there. A really nice limited logos LeBron James. Adam, this looks familiar to me, this card. Have we seen? Look at how strong that auto is. Oh my goodness, what an amazing autograph on that. Let's make sure that autograph graded a 10. It did. Okay. And it's held up very nicely. But this is a really nice patch, Adam. Do we see many patches like this in LeBron James limited logos?
A good percentage of them, but you're right. A good percentage of them aren't. I had a LeBron limited logos for a long time that was just barely 3 colors. It was honestly about 95% one color and then just a teeny little bit. And that was the best that I could do for my collection. This is definitely a top 20% patch. And I'm with you though. The autograph's what stands out to me. That autograph is as blue as you'd hope that it would be. And so this one's out of 50. He's got something like 400 and I don't know how many it is, but something like 400 total limited logos across all years. And it's, one of the 20% best patches. Like those don't come up every day.
Yeah, it's a beauty for sure. Robin Taylor caught me on the Gong Show. Yes, I guest hosted the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast, today's episode. Thank you, Robin. Had a great time with those guys. Terp says, Mom washed some boys 52 Tops Mickey Mantle. And I like this from Michael. Says, the Mantle has patina. Yes, it certainly does have patina. All right, let's see what else we got. A Jordan autographed jersey card. That's pretty cool. Game worn logo man, Dennis Rodman here, Adam. I got to give the floor to you because this is one of those cases where you can shed some light on it, and I'm going to let you do that and mute myself for a moment, okay?
Sure, yeah. Everybody wants a logo man auto of their best player. I say that, and maybe some people are like, I don't want one, but I think that most modern collectors would like to own the logo man auto of their favorite player, and that's like one of the peak cards that you can have. Rodman played with several teams, started with the Pistons, went to the Spurs, then the Bulls, then the Mavs and the Lakers toward the end. And I think everybody would agree the Bulls era Rodman is the one that is sort of like the most preferred. The thing that I'll say about Spurs Rodman, though, that's when he began to be the character who he became. And this card sort of shows that story, or tells that story as well as any does, because you've got Rodman with the dyed hair, looks like a little bit like Jeremy Sohan. That's the Rodman I remember. That's when he started to be, I know he was a bad boy in Detroit, but like he just had these moments in San Antonio that sort of took him culturally to a different place. And then when he went to the Bulls, everything exploded. So I'm not going to try to make the case that you'd rather have the Spurs than the Bulls. I think you would rather have the Bulls. But I think you can make the case that you'd rather have Spurs next. There's a lot of Pistons stuff out there. There's not a lot of Spurs. And I personally love the different colored hair here. Some people are really anti something not being out of one when it's a logo man. I think those people are wrong. There's only, people can want whatever they want and like whatever they like, but I wouldn't hesitate at all. If I was a Rodman collector, I wouldn't hesitate at all to be like all in on this card, because I can't even remember the last time we've had a logo man auto of Rodman up, Jeremy. I think it's been a while. I really don't remember the last time.
10-5 doesn't seem steep to me for this card. So for me, it'd be Bulls, then Pistons, maybe even Pistons, then Bulls. But that's only because I grew up in the late 80s in Winnipeg, Canada, just north of North Dakota. And the channels I was getting Detroit news. So when I got my first TV in my bedroom, like from my saved up money from my paper route, and then how do you guys say it, route or route?
Either way.
I'd saved up money, bought myself a TV for my bedroom, and I would watch Detroit news as I was going to bed and the sports highlights, and that made me a fan of the Bad Boys, because that's all I knew, right?
Yeah.
And then they were playing the Trailblazers, and they were playing the Lakers, and anyway, I love the Pistons and Dennis Rodman. So back then, I'm not a fan of them anymore. But anyway, I would probably go for me Bulls, because that's where he won, and then Pistons, and San Antonio actually wouldn't mean much to me. But no, I understand that's just some kid in Central Canada,
So let me say this, because I want to be really clear here. His legacy, what he did for his legacy in Detroit is easily like it's right there with the Bulls. Those are the two biggest parts. What he did in San Antonio wasn't as important, even close, to what he did in Detroit. The case that I'm making is when he's in Detroit, he never has the crazy colored hair. And if I want a big Rodman card, I sort of love the crazy colored hair because it was such a big part of his persona.
You want the character. I get it. I get that. That makes sense to me. I mean, but for me, and I wonder for other people, what would the team success on the team override that cultural character persona sort of thing? I don't know. Yeah, I think you're gonna have different opinions on it. It's a cool card, no doubt about it. That is a cool card. We have a Bowman Chrome Refractor Brady in an 8. I love this card. This is a card I missed the boat on when I was looking at these, years ago regularly. And this looks like a pretty nice 8 right now. Corners and edges are pretty, like they look perfect, from this angle, guys. But obviously the centering, it is definitely off to the right. Now this is graded an 8, and PSA allows 60-40 centering on the front. It's also off center top to bottom though. So I think if you were to combine the 2 directional centering measures, I think you would see that you're probably not going to be in PSA 10 territory. Are you in PSA 9 still? I don't know. Despite that, the fact that it's in an 8 is only going to save you money if you are not if you're not super concerned about the grade on the PSA holder. I mean, even the back looks clean. Again, we cannot assess surface very well, when we're in 2 dimensions, but yeah, a little bit of white showing on a couple corners. But this, to me, Adam, this is the copy I'd want. 100%. This is the copy I would want, because a 9 or a 10 is going to cost so much more. Actually, I'd want a 7 because I can't afford an 8. It's at $21,000, which is over 25 right now. But this is a beautiful copy, you guys. And this picture doesn't do it justice. This thing shines. These are just gorgeous. Adam, anything you want to say about that? Brady?
The only thing that I ever think of when I see this is how tough the odds were. This isn't a situation where refractors were 1 in 12 packs. Go look at the pack odds on 2000 Bowman Chrome at the rookie autos in this section. And it's like, they're just lights out, impossible to find. So there's really not very many of them. Pull up gem rate and do a combined pop report. And you're going to look at the number and remember that it's one of the most regraded cards in the history of football cards. So it's an overstated number by a good margin.
Okay, great card right there, no doubt. Before we dive into this Gretzky, I'm going to go to some comments here. First, Vintage says, I hate autos when thick pens are used. I don't like the MJ auto on the Fleer even being gold. Yeah, that's fair. It is a thick, chunky auto. Some people want more ink. I personally lean towards a cleaner looking auto, just like Vintage does. But, when there's so few of them, it comes back down to you don't have options. You just really don't. So people want an autographed MJ in many cases.
So on this card, I would say I would agree with Vintage Card Collector on most cards. But the Jordan rookie, and I know that the blue ones ended up that are thick on the PSA 10s ended up looking bad. Okay, so that you don't want that. You don't want what happened on the PSA 10 copies to happen. I agree with Vintage there. But on the 86, 87, sometimes the thin autographs get really lost. And we've seen it before where we're looking at a card and you don't even realize till you look up at the slab and you see that second grade and you sort of scroll down and you go, oh, there's an autograph here. And I never want that. With this card, you will never have any question. People will show up, they'll look at that card, and they'll immediately see that autograph. And I personally think that since the autograph is 90% of the story on this card, that's what I would like. That's what I would want. I would rather have this autograph by a great margin over the typical blue or black.
Yeah, and I agree with what you just said. I've seen Jordan rookies that are autoed, and the auto's there, but you don't get to enjoy it. I wonder if this gold one goes too far past that point, but I do like what you said, Adam, that at least you can see it really, really well. Terp says, a thin gold Jordan auto on a nice 86 would be beautiful. Yes, it would be. Jason Newman says, Rodman's one of those guys that if you talk to any non-collector, they're shocked at the prices he sells for. Yeah, yep. That makes sense. Goes on to Turpin Forster loves buying Bulls. Rodman says Rodman was so entertaining and a great defensive player, and he always took care of the kids on the road. He would buy out stores. Oh, wow, and give them shoes. Very cool. The snake, says Diamond Card Collector. Wedding gown, Rodman is the best Rodman, says Linda's first. And Terp says, I love the credit that Michael Jordan gives Rodman on helping win those championships. All right, let's take a look at this 1979 OPC Wayne Gretzky in a BVG 9 holder. And, oh boy. You ready to get into this one, Adam?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. All right. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna dive into this Gretzky BBG 9 card for you.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Jeremy. You got me nervous.
Well, because of my reaction, I said, "Oh boy," because I looked at a couple. Right at my first glance, I saw a couple things I did not like. But let me look closer and let me point out the things I do like too. Right away, I love the top edge. It is the perfect amount of rough cut. The top corners, I love them. Are they razor sharp, blue to the ultimate tip? No, but they're 9. They're still very nice. They're mint to me. They're still very nice. The word Edmonton and the word Oilers are on the same plane. The word Edmonton does have a few little white spots in it. So, that's just a print issue, a little bit of, not enough pressure on the black plate type of thing, if I understand how printing works. Let's look at registration now. I love that you were not seeing any at all. No whites, no white gaps in between the blue border and the black thin line anywhere. So that's good. That's a nice tight registration there. The oil drop is well placed in the pocket, really well placed. One of the things I noticed when I kind of went, was this little break in the black here on this circle. Can you see that right there? There's a little break there. I don't like that black is missing. But the things that made me really go, when I first saw this card are the edges on the side edges at the very bottom of each side.
Yeah.
Do you see the bottom right? It almost looks like it's kind of this. I'm gonna be extreme here. I'm going to exaggerate, but it almost looks like it's pregnant. Do you see how it kind of like it comes down straight and then it juts out to the right here?
Yeah,
like
I didn't notice it till you said it, but I do see it.
It's like a beer belly in a way. It's got a beer belly at the bottom of it right here. And then on the left side, I'm going to zoom in more on the left. It also seems to stick. Now, this might just be fray, but I seem to see it kind of comes out, and it kind of comes out this way. I'm exaggerating it with my mouse here, but it does kind of come out a little bit on the bottom left corner. So I don't love that. But the left edge is that it's perfect. It's exactly what you want. The bottom edge, a nice rough cut. Not my ideal, but a nice rough cut still. The right edge, a beautiful, almost the perfect amount of rough cut. I always like to look at the face, minimal blur on the face. You can look at the bottom of his legs. And when I say this all the time, the bottom of his legs, I'm talking about the edge of his legs, like right here, right along the lower edge of both of them. And there is a bit of I think it's like a magenta shadow coming out. So there is some of that there. That's a bit, and that's because you see it also you also see it here on the oil drop that it is slightly situated to the right. So we're seeing the effect of that also on the legs. So center, we haven't talked about centering yet. Now it's off center to the left a little bit. It's top to bottom. It's a little high, but it looks really, really good. And then the last thing I'll point out is in the white border that starts over on top. Can you guys see my mouse here? I'm coming over to the right, and then you come down the curve. And in this white area, we are seeing a little bit of the magenta coming into the white area, which it shouldn't be doing, but it happens on so many copies. So there's that as well. So those are my comments on the front of the card. I just want to see the back and see if anything jumps out to me on the back. And we do not have those thin blue parallel lines that come right here that some people like. You can see how it sticks out on the bottom. Like, to me, that's like, this is almost I don't know, man, Adam, like that. It's almost like, I think it's miscut, but miscut in accordance to PSA means that like they miscut the whole sheet and part of the card isn't on the card, But in my mind here, we talk about diamond cut. What diamond cut means is that you have a card that it does not have 4 perfect 90-degree corners. You know, you've got slight variation. It's not a perfect rectangle. It's more of a parallelogram type of thing. Well, this is a different type of miscut where they just left. I don't know what happened there, but something happened there to give it this kind of beer belly type of look on the bottom right of the card. And you know, unfortunately for this card, I personally don't like that at all. Like, that to me is it's like a wart on the card. I really don't like it. But those are my thoughts on this particular Gretzky. There's another one. There's a PSA 8 we're going to look at. But Adam, I just kind of said a whole bunch of things on this card. And Linda's first says, uh-oh, yeah. And Terp says the bottom is not as symmetrical as the top. I think we're talking about the same thing there. Adam, oh, wait a second. Bob's Big Boy says, I love this copy because those edges tell me this card is unscathed by trimming. Too many copies just look too good. These cards were cable wire cut, and so that edge is perfect for me. Yeah, Bob. I mean, that's a nice comment. I just completely disagree with you on it. I mean, if you don't want a rectangular card, that's one thing. And then to say that too many look too good, I mean, lots look good, but not to the point where that would be an issue for me at all. But guys, we have a special guest who has joined us and wasn't sure if he was going to come. Ryan, you want to give me the thumbs up if you're ready to join us on the screen? All right. We're going to bring on Ryan Tedmus, who is with Fanatics Collect. Looking good, buddy. Looking good. Your hair's perfect. The hair is perfect. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. Adam's got here now, so didn't need you to fill in for him, but it's good to see you. And are you just joining now, or have you had a chance to watch any of the show so far?
Just got home. Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to watch any of the show, but thought I'd hop on. Wasn't sure if Adam was on yet, so I thought I'd hop on to assist.
Are you okay to jump right into to kind of put your feet to the fire a little bit? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but are you okay if I put your feet to the fire?
Absolutely, of course. Always ready.
All right, guys. So we're going to go back in time now. We are going to go back to, now I don't even remember which card it was. I know you guys in the Mickey Mantle. Ryan, this Mickey Mantle PSA 751 Bowman. Now, it's given the above average eye appeal rating. Are you familiar? Do you remember this card? Are you familiar with this card?
Yeah.
So I look at it from here, Ryan. I'm sitting back. I think, yeah, this has nice eye appeal for sure. I don't deny that. But when I get into the card, the thing that throws me off of there being eye appeal is this scuff on the arm and the sleeve here. So can you share with us a little bit about the thought that went into assessing this card for eye appeal and granting it ultimately awarding it with the above average assessment, which is top 30%, with the consideration that it's got this pretty serious scuff that comes, it's on the bottom of the sleeve and also into the elbow and the arm as well. How did you reconcile that when awarding it the eye appeal designation?
Yeah, happy to answer that one. So yeah, this one was okay. So when you look at the vast majority of PSA 7s, you'll see that most of them are centered 80-20 left to right. And there's typically some print in that black box. A little off-centered, maybe a few little print lines, those vertical print lines that you always see. So yeah, although this one's not perfect, you have that scuff on the back, you have that wax buildup on the reverse. But in terms of overall quality of a near mint copy, I think this one, this one for me exceeds the vast majority of near mint copies. Beautifully centered, strong near mint corners. You have that really great bright color on the front surface. So in terms of a quality near mint copy, I think this one is, I think it, top 30% for sure.
Okay, and that I'm glad you're here to answer, because we talked about it a little bit earlier, And I said, like, right out of the gate, that when I look at this, it looks like a really nice copy. Corners and edges are really nice. Centering is very strong, although not perfect, but very strong for the card in any grade. And then I honed in on that elbow, and I thought, see, for me, the way I go, I don't think it would get eye appeal from me, because my eyes now, they go to that. But comparing it to all the other sevens that you've got the experience of seeing, I'm going to say, okay, I get it. I understand. I'm not going to push back any further.
No. Happy to always, receive some pushback. But for me, when I look at the last 10 PSA 7s to sell, and you look at the centering between those last 10 7s to sell, and again, that front surface, and again, this one, although not perfect, I think this one exceeds the eye appeal of the last 10 PSA 7s to sell by quite a far margin there. So, yeah.
All right, very cool. Now I want to get. Now this is not putting your feet to the fire at all, but I want to go back now to the Gretzky that we were just looking at. So let me just tighten up my screen here a little bit, close all these windows. The Gretzky was on page. Okay, this Gretzky here, Ryan. What is going on this? What is going on this bottom right edge? You know how it comes down nice and straight. Oh, sorry, I got to share my screen again. It comes down nice and straight, and then it juts out to the right here. And I've described this as being, it almost looks like it's pregnant at the bottom, or a bit of a beer belly. What do you think's going on there? Like, is that a miscut? Is it extra card stock? Should it penalize the grade of the card? What's going on there, Ryan?
No, it's a fair question. And honestly, you would probably be better at answering this considering your knowledge of OPG Gretzky rookie cards. I don't know. I saw this and I contemplated that as well. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it kind of jets out a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know if it's a miscut or.
I think it's a miscut. I think what happened is the card was being cut, and before the blade finished coming down, some worker in the factory on the assembly line just touched the sheet and it moved slightly, and the blade moved a little bit like that, or it was just not sharp enough, or something happened, because that is just not a straight line. It's just not a straight line coming down. And unfortunately for this card, I really don't like it because of that, because my eyes do not come away from there. They just do not come away from there personally. So now I don't think, no eye appeal on this card, which I think is obviously the right move, because it's got that defect, I guess, that flaw. So Ryan, are there any cards in the auction tonight that you'd like us to look at right now that you think are really cool, or you want to point anything out? Anything kind of top of mind?
Oh my gosh, there's so many great cards in this PA. This is probably the most exciting PA that we've had in the last couple months. I don't know, go down the list. I mean, there's so many great ones. I think I don't know if you touched on the top 5 already, but I love the 98 game jersey, Michael Jordan patch auto, that 09 exquisite Michael Jordan LeBron James patch auto. I personally am a huge fan favorite of the Inscription NT Kobe Bryant Black Mamba PSA 1010.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great.
We've been kind of jumping around, which has been fun so far. So we'll continue to do that. We were looking at page 3 when we got to the Gretzky. So this is the bottom now of page. This is the 5, guys. This is 5 pages in this auction tonight. 24 cards per page, 120 cards in the auction, which, yeah, as Ryan just said, it's the most we've seen in quite some time. I want to look. This card caught my eye. This Allen Iverson 97 Skybox Star Rubies caught my eye when I was preparing. Adam, your thoughts on this, because it looks a little light to me. Is this the way it was captured by the image capture machine environment, or has this card been lightened over time? And maybe Ryan, you have an insight into that.
It's a really good question. Really good question, Jeremy. I looked at this and the Rodman. They're both from the same set in this auction, and they almost look like they're from different sets because the Iverson really lights up. I like how the Iverson looks, honestly, better than how the Rodman looks, but part of it may be that in the imaging, the Rodman's in that big BGS holder, and this one's in the PSA holder, and we all know, this is one of the reasons why I think PSA stuff sells for more than BGS does at this point. One of the reasons that stuff looks a lot better. And so, especially a card like this that you want to see every detail of the surface, I would much rather have it in the PSA holder. A 9's a great grade. It looks like it's in a fairly new holder too, like it was reholdered. And if it had been damaged, I don't think they would have given it a 9 again. So I'd look at it in the 360 tool, but it looks fine to me. I think it looks amazing to me.
Well, let's have a look at that, because there's what I'm looking for. You look at the difference in color right there, you guys. The deeper blues versus here, it's all very, very light green. And if we just let it play here. Play. Let's see if this will work. See if the internet can handle this. I don't know why it's not moving here, but
we've got both of us. We got both of us on here too. This is a perfect storm for it and to not work.
Yeah. I'm not sure why that doesn't work, but that does appease me. This card is, the color's good, is what I'm saying. Ryan?
So yeah, we actually sold this card like, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago. It's a beautiful card. It's fully deserving of that PSA 9 assessment. But if you compare it to a lot of freshly graded Star Rubies, I would say the front surface of this card, I don't know if it's like fading or if it's sunspots or something, if it's been exposed to sun, but it is slightly like greenish, maybe a little fading there. But overall, sharp corners, crisp, super crisp edges. You never see such fresh edges on a card like this on these 97 Star Rubies.
Does it surprise you? Does it surprise you it got that 9 grade? Because let's see the back, Jeremy. Isn't it in a new holder?
Well, it's an old holder. You can tell from the serial that it was graded quite a long time ago, but it has been reholdered.
That's what I'm saying, is like, if in PSA, correct me if I'm wrong, but if this card was no longer a 9, I know they've had to pay out a lot of money on these, like, for insurance purposes. If the card was no longer a 9, they would put it in a lower holder and then pay out the difference. Is that your understanding as well, Ryan?
Exactly. Yeah. If it didn't meet the assessment when it got reholdered, then they would downgrade it. So
and what I forget what people call this new holder, lighthouse or something. The lighthouse holder, something like that.
They call it lighthouse. It's because of the PSA hologram here, but I'm going to kind of go the other way, guys, and say that this hologram holder, I believe, has been around since the 4.6s. I'm not convinced that this is a reholder or anything like that. And 4.6 is not that long ago. Like 4.6 is maybe 4 years ago, right? Don't forget. Maybe it's 5 or 6 years ago, but it's not that far back, actually. The 2.3s were 2014. I just proved that last night when I got a card graded myself, and I went to look when I submitted it, and so anything started with 2.3 was graded in, well, some of the 2.3s were graded in August of 2014. I don't think it probably took them a few years to get to the 4.6s after then. They weren't doing $1 million a month back then, right? So I think, I can't tell you for sure, but my guess is this is not a reslabbed card. It's not that old of a grade. It's not like it's 15 years old. I'm guessing this slab is more like 8 years old at the most.
I thought the new holders were, you're probably right. I thought the new holders were more like the 5s, but I don't know that for sure. So you're probably right about that.
Just my thought.
I think you're right, actually, Jeremy. We actually sold this card in November of 2023, and it did have the same holder. So maybe it hasn't been reholdered since.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay, well, let's keep on rolling, guys. We were at the top here of page 3. I'm scrolling back up to the top just to make sure if there's anything, Adam, you want me to stop at, like Dennis Rodman.
I really like that logo man, Dennis Rodman.
We don't see it. You're a little late to the party, right? Share your thoughts, but we just spent 5 minutes. But do share your thoughts on it, please.
Yeah, no, you just don't see a lot of logo man Rodman. I mean, I know he's in a Spurs uniform there, but great Stitch logo man on card autograph. I don't know. I really like that card.
Yeah, no, very cool. Adam, what about the Dennis Rodman Rubies? Do you want to take a look at this card right now?
Yeah, it's one of his best serial numbered cards for sure. You've got the green to 10, you've got the now to 5, essential credentials now. And outside of those two, I'm not sure there's another Rodman rare parallel you'd rather have. Well, I guess there's the one of ones, but outside of like non one of ones, there's really only those two. I would take this card over a red. I know that might be, you know, some people might think that that's a little bit weird, but I'd rather take this over a red because there's 90 reds and there's 50 of these, and the amoeba pattern in the background when you tilt that side to side, it's gorgeous. It's really, really a beautiful thing.
Okay, Adam, sorry to interrupt there, Jeremy, but does Dennis Rodman have the best in action photos?
Totally.
Across all 90s cards?
Absolutely. I would say this. I'd say in the group of like greatest, most photogenic players from the 90s, there's a group of 4 guys. They're Jordan, Kobe, Vince Carter, and Dennis Rodman. And Rodman is like the most different of all of them, right? Like the other ones are acrobatic dunkers, and Rodman's just always in these crazy. This one's a rare offensive move, right? Usually it's this like big kick rebound, but that's a full image of Rodman. It's really perfect. I love that card.
I love it too. I love how they used his image to really fill up the whole card. The ball going to the deep corner, legs to the bottom. It might be the best image of Rodman on a card that I remember seeing. So I'm with you on that. That's a really cool card. Your comment, you would take it over a PMG red. I can see that being, you know, controversial. People might be like, what's he talking about? But you may, you know, there's 50 of these and 90 of those. Now that's the print run. How many are actually out there? What's the float on those? I don't know. I think they're all just very rare. So could be 6 of one, half a dozen of another to some other people. How about this Ty Cobb with the superior eye appeal rating? Since we have the eye appeal guy with us, let's take a look at this card. And right away, I look at this and I look at a lot of Cobb red portraits, guys, because it's the number 3 card on my want list right now. So I look at them whenever I see them. And right away, this card, I can't believe it's only a 5. But I haven't zoomed in yet, and that's a big part of it. So right away, I am not shocked at all or surprised by the eye appeal designation. So good for you so far, Ryan, from my perspective. But now let's zoom in on it and see if we still feel the same way. I always look at the registration. I can see sort of the red background. It's pretty clean. There's a little bit of slight snow, but that's okay. A little faint white line between the end of the red and the top of the black outline, a very thin black outline, not serious. There's a scratch right here, but that's on the holder, guys. That's not on the card. I say that because you see it coming over here as well. It starts up over here and it ends down over there. We come down, a pretty well-focused face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, all look good. Not 100% perfect, but very, very strong. Edges and corners, like the top corner, you can see it's not perfect. This is a 5, guys, don't forget. Top edge is great. Top left corner is very nice. The left and the right edge that we can see where viewing it is not encumbered by the PSA ridge, very nice. The bottom edge, perfect. Bottom left corner might be perfect. Bottom right corner, slightly rounded. Okay, with that out of the way though, look at the centering. I judge my red portrait Cobbs by where the word Cobb and Detroit are relative to the bottom of the card itself. I don't know that I've ever seen such a well-centered copy, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen, now top to bottom I'm talking, that's usually where it's off both ways. Side to side, this isn't perfect, but it is very, very strong. Ryan, honestly, I think this card is, we got to look at the back first, just before I come with my final conclusion. Yeah, very, very clean. A little bit of the ink seeping through, but we see that on so many cards. Honestly, that doesn't bother me. I want more. The more ink, the better. In many cases, as long as it doesn't get too dark. Final point. I love this card. I absolutely love it. I would love to own it. It's at 15.5. It's beyond my budget, but Ryan, I think this card is definitely worthy of the eye appeal assessment. Anything you'd like to add about it? Turpin Forster says that Cobb is amazing. So there's another person who agrees. Ryan, share with us what you were thinking when you analyzed and assessed this card.
Yeah, I mean it's a Sovereign 350 back. It's more condition sensitive for the red portraits. It's a beautiful card. It has that deep red backdrop, and yeah, it might be 55-45 left to right, top to bottom. It's beautiful. The issue with this card that I see is that upper right corner.
Yeah.
But when you look at the overall, compare this one to all the X-Men copies out there, X plus copies. It's not out of the realm of possibility that this earns an X plus example. X-Men is a stretch, but an X plus, a half grade bump is certainly in the realm of possibility, especially with that Sovereign 350 back. Such a beautiful back, iconic card, one of the most important pre-war issues ever. I mean, such a beautiful Cobb.
It really is. Adam, any thoughts on the Cobb?
No,
I know it's right in your wheelhouse.
Well, I mean, I do love it. It's a great card, and I love your comment, Jeremy, about how you look at centering on that. I've never thought about that before, but it's just great to listen to both of you and learn from both of you.
Yeah, when you're looking at these T206s, where the name and the team fall in that white border is, to me, it can make or break the card. Oftentimes, you're missing the very bottom of his name, like it's cut right off. So that's just the way it goes. Robert Scott lets us know that the Cobb is a pop 6, only one higher with that back.
You never know. PSA's population report, especially with a lot of these old T206s where they weren't accurately logged. So you never know.
Do you think
that's really important, Ryan? Guys, I want to make sure everybody really heard that what he's telling us is that we cannot rely on the PSA pop report for T206 for the different back variations because they may not have logged them properly from the beginning. With that said, though, Ryan, I would think that impact is minimal because, well, depending on when they started logging them properly, was that in year 2 or year 12 or year 22 of their existence? I don't know. I don't know if you know. Do you know how long into their existence they started getting that more accurate?
And Adam, you might know more about this than I do, but I think they actually started to log the particular backs 2 years ago. Really started to track each. It's fairly recent.
So then you can't rely on it at all, really. Adam?
The thing that I don't like is the way that most people utilize the PSA website at this point is, and I think you guys have all done this, you go take the cert number, you enter it into the cert search, and then you pull it up and there's a block, and that block shows how many are of that grade, how many of them are qualified at that grade, and then how many are graded higher, right? I would change that whole interface significantly. I would say I would like to see how many total are graded. For T206, I don't even want to see the back totals. I want to see the general total. And to your point, Ryan, and I don't know about this, I don't know if they ever had like a generic sort of like a generic, this is how many Cobbs there are. And then later they sort of said, oh, we should have done it this way. And so then they kept those that had already been graded in that generic section. I don't know, but every time I've like been doing a reel on a T206 and I've gone and I've done all my research, I've sort of just wanted to talk about the card as a whole and not focus on the back, which is weird for me because I like stuff that differentiates cards, but the back sort of seems a little bit ambiguous. I don't know. That's my take.
Well, here's what I can tell you about that, because Adam, I think that approach that you just outlined for yourself was very similar to mine until very recently, when I learned more about it by doing my Vintage Spotlight podcast with Leighton Sheldon on the Vintage Spotlight YouTube channel and podcast, available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, everybody. But Adam, those who collect T206s and know the back is almost as important as the front.
Sure, and especially if it's any of the really rare ones. But unless you're looking at one of those really rare variations, or you're a set collector, your point's taken. I totally get it. I'm not.
Well, not only that, they are different sets. That's the thing. The T206 is comprised of different sets because they all came from different cigarette brands. So
sure.
It's like each brand put out cards in its own set, and then the hobby and really starting with Jefferson Burdick, I suppose, just decided to group them all into one one label being T206, but there is so much more nuance to it than just that I'm glad that I wish they would have done it from the beginning to differentiate. They didn't, so there's really no going back. But for collectors, I think the back's very important. For me, like a Sweet Caporal or a Piedmont would be the most attractive because it would be the most affordable, right? Because those are the most common. Ryan, what do you think of that? Like, you're smiling. Why?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're absolutely right. They are the most affordable. For me personally, I see so many Sweet Cap and Piedmont examples that I've sort of become numb to them. I adore Carolina Brights and these ultra rare ones.
Polar bears.
I love polar bears, but they are heavily prone to molasses staining, tobacco staining. So sorry, not molasses staining, tobacco staining. So you do get that heavy bleed through, but I love like a rare back, and again, you're getting these astronomical price differences, which I don't want to pay. So yeah, maybe you're right. Piedmont and Sweet Cap and even a Sovereign would be perfectly fine for me.
Because for me, it's about the Ty Cobb, right? So I don't. The back is less important. I'm going to look at it less. So I want the Ty Cobb T206. I want the one I can afford. Piedmont Sweet Cap would be the easiest to acquire. That said, I wouldn't be Polar Bear would be number 3 for me because of Chris at CRT Sports, who's got the Polar Bear sleeves on his tattoos. In any event, this is a beautiful card. I think we can move on, but this is a beautiful card. Thank you, Linda's first says 87 watching. We got 124 between all the different platforms right now, guys. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Greatly appreciate. If you're not yet subscribed, take a moment to do so. Okay. Adam, did you want to jump in with anything before we move on?
Well, you cut me off and then told me I was wrong. So I wanted a chance to at least tell you what I thought. What I started to say when you cut me off was, if you're a set collector, some of those rarest ones really matter. And I started to say that, and then you jumped in on me, and I was like, "Come on, Jeremy!" But if you're a set collector, some of those ones that aren't rare can really matter. But I'm totally with Ryan on this. If the story of the card is the rarity of it, then that is so important. But if it's not, then to me, it's sort of like, how does it fit in the whole of the group? Unless you're a set collector, that's where I was going.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know that I completely followed that, but that's probably my fault.
Did you follow it, Ryan?
I did, yeah.
Very good.
Okay, we've got more cards here, guys. Let's keep on going. 1969 Topps Lou Alcindor. Also, okay, I like when we have Ryan here looking at the eye appeal assessments and just kind of seeing what we think about it. So let's have a look at the Lou Alcindor 69 Topps. I mean, this thing's a blazer.
This one's a smoke show. I absolutely love this card. This is probably the best near mint Alcindor rookie card I've ever seen.
Wow,
Ryan.
The only thing I see wrong with it is it's centered a little bit low, side to side, basically perfect. Even top to bottom, it's not bad, but it's a little bit off center. But look at those corners and edges are just totally sharp, really sharp corners and edges. And the blue is solid. The color is great. The registration appears to be, I want to say perfect, but before I do, I'm trying to look for something wrong. Is there a little bit of darkness coming off of here? Maybe I'm just being really picky. I don't think so. This is an absolutely beautiful card. What eye appeal did you give it? Exceptional, so top 15%. Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Ryan. This is an absolute, even the back is centered very well. What a nice copy.
So Ryan, in an 8, this is a huge card, right? And in an 8, if it was a 9, it's just like this astronomical card. Can you think any reason why this wouldn't? I mean, I hate asking this question, but why wouldn't this card be in a PSA holder?
I couldn't answer that. It's totally up to that third-party grading service. You never know. Maybe that's an opportunity there where somebody buys this and they, try and cross it. Obviously, you have Fanatics Collect their assessment. You have NBA's assessment. You have SGC's assessment. It's a really nice copy. And to Jeremy's point, maybe a hair off top to bottom, but with most 69 Topps basketball Lou Alcindor rookies, you're going to see a more significant centering shift top to bottom
and side to side.
And definitely side to side.
It's just a great copy. Absolutely.
Real quick on that note, the reason that I bring that up is there's a very public story over the course of the last few months. You guys probably know where I'm going with this, of a Wilt Chamberlain rookie that came across in an SGC 10 holder, and then it was purchased and right away found itself to a PSA 10 holder. And I think those of us who followed this for a while realize that person who bought that, his name's Steve who bought that in a 10 and then crossed it. Holy smokes, he made himself some money on that grade, on that cross. And so I just look at this Alcindor, and when you say, Ryan, it's one of the nicest ones you've seen, and I see that gold label NBA there, I sort of look at it and I go, 11 grand. Ugh. Like it is I think it is an opportunity if it's if it finds its way to a PSA 8 or a PSA 9 holder. It's interesting.
The opportunity is for the capitalist there, right? Who doesn't want to own the card, right? Like when Adam, when you said the guy on the Chamberlain, he made himself some money. Yeah, but he cost the ultimate collector some money who bought it that could have had it in the original holder in the SGC 10 or whatever.
And I do want to say there's no guarantee that he made money there. Okay, he paid $1.5 million for an SGC 10.
That's true.
There's no guarantee that he's going to get that money back. And same with this. If you buy this card, there's no guarantee that it's going to cross to a PSA 8. We're just saying it's a really nice copy for its holder. So take that with a grain of salt. It's a smoking nice card.
So sorry, let me just
to my comment as well is that the person who bought the PSA 10 Chamberlain or who would buy it maybe didn't want the SGC, so it's not like he stopped that. It's not like he cost that his buyer any money, because that buyer might not have wanted the SGC copy. So my comment wasn't what was flawed from that perspective. Adam?
So just a couple quick things just to clarify. So he bought it in an SGC 10 and then he crossed it himself, and then now it's in PSA 10 for himself. The other question, and Ryan, I just wanted to clarify because I wasn't sure what you're saying here. When you said it may not sell for over 1.5, are you saying that in the PSA holder now, if it sold, you don't think it would sell for 1.5? Or are you saying there was no guarantee when he attempted to cross it that it would cross to a 10?
Well, both. There was no guarantee that it would have crossed to a PSA 10, but also you just don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know if this card goes to auction. I'm sure it'll sell for more than 1.5.
I think so too.
But I'm just saying, until it happens, it's not a guarantee.
That's true. I agree with that. I'll get on board with that, and I would sort of co-sign this. Like, I feel really comfortable that it probably would. But we don't know because it's such a big number. There's not a huge number of people who are playing in that sort of game. So I think that's a fair good comment. So thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that.
Adam, can you tell us a bit about this 2008 Ultimate Collection Legends Michael Jordan patch auto in terms of just what it is, where it fits into Jordan cards, after I just praise it for that beautiful autograph? Look at how bright and blue this thing is. Is it graded? Let's just see if it's graded on the back. It grades a 10. I'm so glad it grades a 10, because I thought, well, maybe because some of the blue goes into the gold foil here or down there that they'd penalize it, which would kind of annoy me. I love the color of this autograph. I think this card is just gorgeous. You got some gold foil stamped 4 of 10. Great shot of Michael Jordan. But Adam, it looks like we've got game used, simple jersey. How does this card rank? Is this special? What are your thoughts on this Michael Jordan card?
I don't think of it when I think of really well-known brands, because a lot of Ultimate Collection is more about what it is rather than the branding around it. So I couldn't have told you what the Ultimate Legends jersey autograph of Michael Jordan is, but there are a few things about it from a taxonomy perspective that are pretty cool. It's the final year of Ultimate, right? And the way that you can remember that is Steph doesn't have an Ultimate rookie card. So 2008 was the final year. The other thing about it that's really cool is, there's not that many of these Jordan big jersey or big patch autographs that are oriented this way, where the autograph ends up being smaller. I'm a big autograph guy. I want him to sign that whole length of the card. This doesn't allow for that. But Jordan is sort of a ninja with that marker or that pen, and he just nailed this. You're right, Jeremy. It's just a beautiful card. And so out of 10, tough to find. And whenever you have a really rare Jordan autograph like this, people sort of come out of the woodwork for it because it's unusual. There's not that many jersey autographs. I don't personally call this a patch autograph. I realize that a lot of the market does at this point, but to me, this was a jersey. This isn't a patch. And I love it. I think it's a beautiful card.
Yeah, I'm with you. I consider this to be a jersey auto card. It's not patch, but some people might say it's a patch of jersey. Ryan, is that something you can tell us? You can tell us because, like traditionally this would not be called a patch, but Fanatics Collect calls these patches. Is that deliberate? Does whoever's titling, do they just not know that the hobby generally does not consider this to be a patch? Are they trying to change the way the hobby looks at jersey swatches? What do you know about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I don't know exactly. I mean, I think it says on the reverse here, I'm pretty sure it's a game used jersey patch is what it will say on the reverse. Can you pull up the reverse there?
I'd be surprised if it says patch. I'll bet you it doesn't, but maybe I'm wrong.
You ever seen a trading card with it just says memorabilia?
Game used basketball. Yeah, sorry. NBA game. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. I think we've just gotten to the habit of just saying patch auto and in the vast majority of listings.
Well, and do you agree with that though? Do you think that's appropriate?
Well, you'll note that like on a lot of the higher end items, we'll say like in the subtitle, if it warrants game used jersey patch, we'll state that on Premier Auction. But it's something it's quite hard to manage when you have 10,000 listings in a weekly auction.
And not only that, but let me like sort of stand up for the old PWCC, because PWCC did this too.
Exactly.
It's a matter of how people want to search for a card. And there's a lot of people at this point that just want to enter patch and see any form of game used stuff, whether it's a ball or a shoe or a jersey. And so they just they sort of genericized that word. I personally, knowing what Upper Deck's history is and knowing that they differentiated, they were like the author of the differentiation between jersey and patch. I don't think they should, but I get it from the searcher's perspective and think that is a good reason. To me, it's not a patch. So I would have called it a jersey, but again, it's a long-standing thing and it's happened for a long time.
And let me stand up for the hobby and say that I don't see any reason to call it a patch, except for convenience that Ryan said at in the shop. I understand out of convenience, but to me, and I'm going out on a limb here. I'm risking things saying this, but I don't think that's a reason. I don't think convenience or lack of time is a good enough reason on this. And I'm not. Please, Ryan, I'm just glad you're here, but I'm just saying this because it's how I truly feel, that I don't think that's a good enough reason. And I think having the word patch there is somewhat I don't know, maybe it's not misleading. I just think it's inaccurate. And then you guys were talking about how people search. Adam, you said they search patch looking for any bit of memorabilia. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I don't know that that's the case. When I search for, and I have searches that I use that say patch, I'm not looking for jersey cards myself. I deliberately say patch because I don't want a jersey. If I want to search for jersey and patch, I put a plus sign, open parentheses, patch, comma, jersey, close parentheses, and that would be my I think it's called the Boolean search, right?
Yes.
So anyway, that's not what this is about. We're picking on a detail here, and I don't want to spend much more time on this because this is still an amazing card. I absolutely love it, whether that's a jersey or a patch, but we have Ryan here, so I wanted to talk about this a bit. Now, we have a comment here. USMNT says old heads care about this. People in the last 5 years don't care. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's true, but people in the last 5 years are amateurs. Many of them are nothing against them, but people who don't care about this are amateurs. I'll just say that. If I'm insulting somebody listening, don't take it as an insult. You just have some growing in the hobby to do, some experience to gain. That's what I think.
I
think go ahead, Adam.
As you say, I like Mike Nunez's case here. People call it a patch because they want to get more money for it, and I think that's true. But I also think, and this is really clear, if you look back at when Panini took over, they I used this word earlier. They changed the taxonomy in that moment for them. So if you look back at like the first series of National Treasures, you don't see the word patch, you see the word prime. And they sort of changed it from being like Topps, Fleer, and Upper Deck all had the same taxonomy. It was jerseys and patches. And then straight in 2009, Panini sort of said, we're doing away with that. They didn't continue that language. And for us who are old heads, like USMNT says, like for me, that will always be a jersey card. It will never, ever, ever, ever be a patch. It will always be a jersey. And I will always call it a jersey. And I always think it's wrong to see the name patch on there. But I do think that there's this real confusion that came in with the change, because you look on any of the Panini cards, you're not going to see the same language. It really did change.
I think you nailed it, Adam. But I think the one thing you got incorrect there is what Prime did when they started. But I think you're right. I think you nailed the reason why this confusion started, because when Panini came out and they started calling things Prime was the middle of the road. It's not a simple jersey like we're looking at here, and it wasn't a patch. Prime referred to a piece of the jersey that was like a seam. It had a seam through it. So that was a prime piece of jersey. That's what Prime started as when they first started using that terminology on jersey cards. And I think, to your point, that maybe that was what started to blend jerseys and patches together into one kind of label, being now patch. But I got to go back to a USMNT's comment here, saying that people in the last 5 years don't care. Like does that, again, it just brings me back to the fact that people in the last 5 years don't understand how the hobby, some of them do, don't get me wrong, but some just don't understand how the hobby works that way. And it's like, okay, so you came in the last 5 years, you want to be deceived, sort of thing. Not deceived, but you want to be kind of like misdirected. That's fine. Hopefully they learn, and they will eventually care, I would think.
I want to jump in real quick, and then I know we need to move to other items because we're going way too slow. But I think National Treasure's first RPAs, I could be wrong. I don't think they say patch, even though there are tons of crazy colors. I think they all say Prime on them. I think. And maybe
that's because they used Prime earlier. And I'm talking about even before National Treasures was conceived, like earlier than that, when they started using the term. So, okay, let's move on. Because that's a whole podcast on its own, pretty much, I would think. Let's talk about this. We're looking at it right now. I want to talk about this Brady card right here, because this, to me, might be one of the best Brady, if not the best Brady memorabilia card out there. If there was some red in there, it would be a little bit better. But that star, the fact there's only 15 of these made, Upper Deck Ultimate made like some of the best memorabilia cards of all time. And this is just beautiful. Like you could put the name Exquisite on this and you would not bat an eye. Oh yeah, this could be an Exquisite card. It looks just like it. Got a nice hollow foil, beautiful pattern, an interesting die cut, and a huge patch. $12,000 for this card. I just love it. Adam, what do you think about this card?
Yeah, I love it. 2004 was also the year that they came out with the premium patches in basketball. They were a lot higher numbered. And so in football, to have these really lower number one called supers, I don't know if they have a premium patch in football as well, but this is obviously this is as good as it gets with that big star. Again, out of 15, the hollow foil is incredible. Look at the patch window and throughout. It's for me, and I'm just saying for me, this is way cooler than even most early Brady autographs. Way cooler, because it's got this ultra rare insert aspect about it, but then the game used patches. It's stellar.
Ryan, how about you?
I mean, Adam nailed it right there. I mean, both of you nailed it. Huge patch window. I love that hollow foil around that patch window. Obviously, you have that Patriot Star jersey patch. Just a gorgeous card. But to Mike's point there, when you talk about prime patches, that prime silhouette Kobe, that is probably the best, one of the most interesting cards in this Premier Auction.
It is.
Let's go find it. Let's go find that card then and talk about it.
I've gotten so many messages on this card, Ryan.
Yeah, this card baffles me, to be honest. And maybe you can provide some information. It's going to be on the first page, I believe.
Tell me if I pass it.
Nope. Keep going. Oh, okay, maybe the second page.
There it is.
There it is. All right, $65,000 right now for this 2011 Panini Preferred Silhouette Prime Kobe Bryant. That is a beautiful patch. I'm going to use the word patch. That is a beautiful patch with thread, with mesh, with numbers or Lakers logo. Beautiful card. And let's look at the auto up close as well, you guys, and just see how it look. Oh my gosh, Adam, is that not a big, like, I don't mean big in size, but is that a more intricate Kobe auto than we normally are used to seeing, or is that par for the course?
It depends on the era, but in any era, it's perfect.
It's perfect. What a great card. And that patch, we are saying, is game used, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Enclosed game worn material and autograph. Yeah. Yeah. And the design, oftentimes I don't like this like brassy looking accent coming down the sides, but I really like it on this card. Yeah. Really, really cool card. Any more comments on this, Ryan? Anything from you?
Well, Adam, I believe you did you do a video on this one where you highlighted the different patches that were taken from a specific jersey and how there was, I don't know, how many are there?
There's 10.
There's 10, yeah. Okay. And this is one of the best patches from those 10.
So yeah, this is easily my favorite card of the auction. Frankly, I've sat here for the last 2 weeks trying to figure out how much I wanted to bid on this card. So
how you can get it, how you could possibly acquire it.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about it. I'm just being real. I'm still thinking about it right now. So when do the half bids start, Ryan?
I'm sorry?
When do the half bids start? The $2,500 increments? Do you know?
I don't recall.
Okay. I think there's a half bid that's allowed like after a certain point. And so anyway, that doesn't matter. The thing, there's so many things to talk about with this card, and you guys know I have a tendency to go on and on. So Jeremy, just stop me after a few seconds. But like, I think that this has the case for being like, and this is gonna sound crazy, I think it has a chance for being like the best Kobe Bryant patch autograph card in existence. And I know that sounds crazy because people are gonna go, no. There's all this great stuff in Exquisite. There's all this great stuff from the Upper Deck era, and I know that stuff's worth way more money. Okay, I know. Yes, Mike's exactly right. There's no question for that for me. But like the other cards the cards that sell for the most from the Exquisite era are like the number pieces, right? Everybody loves. The number piece is like 1/4 the size or less, 1/8 the size of this patch, right? We've seen, I don't know how many times we've seen the 03 or 04 number pieces sell since the last one of these sold. The last one of these that I'm aware of sold in 2012 when the card came out. In 2011, Panini didn't make any rookie cards, right? You guys remember this? It was the lockout year, so they didn't make rookie cards in 2011. So they only made a couple of brands in 2011. And the only breakthrough that they made in 2011, literally the only one that's interesting, is the silhouette set. So this is the first silhouette set. There's a regular version, and then there's a prime version, which we've already talked about. You can see up out in the top right how it says prime. It is a patch, though. But the thing about the card that makes me sit here and go, am I willing to spend $80,000 or $100,000 on this card? And again, I am actually really thinking about this still right now, is that, and this is so unique, and I love this, and you guys might think that I'm crazy, but I love this. Before Panini put these cards together, they took a picture of the 10 patches on the outside, like before they put them into the cards. So unlike almost any set where you sort of have to wonder, is there a chance that they replaced the patches on this card? Sorry for my voice, by the way, I've been sick. This is the one card where you don't have to worry. You know that patch is original to that card. You know it without any question. It's in the sell sheet. Like, it's there. All 10 of them are. And our friend Spinatron went through and said, let me label each of these. And he went through and he found them all. And so we've known this is the number 2 patch for years and years, but it never pops up because there's only 10. So I own Unlimited Logos. It's the 50. It's one of my best cards, and it's one of his best cards. Like, and it's worth more probably than this card is. But like, there's 5 times as many of that card as there is of this one. And it's the first prime silhouette, and they never pop up, literally ever. So yeah, I freaking love this card so much love this card.
And, I just noticed something after LGC made a comment in the chat that I didn't notice before, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's a good thing. He says there's a nice die cut triangle near the ball.
That's right.
Where you can see a small window of the patch. And let's just zoom in on that, because that's pretty cool. Right over here, there's a, it's almost like a dual patch, because you got one here, one there, with some actual cardboard in between.
So, and just to jump in again, when these came out, people were like, I'm not so sure I like that, because all of them are silhouettes. They're like something going over the patch. And as time has gone by, Panini has done less and less sort of intricate things like this on the silhouettes. So it's only the first couple of years where they really crushed it. And I'm with you. I love that. I love that so much about this card.
Nice little detail. The silhouettes, when they first came out, were extremely popular. They made them in hockey as well. And I like them. I kind of won't say outgrew them, but my love for them faded. But this one's different. This one just hits in all the right places for sure. What's up, Thorson? Welcome to the show. Tyson says, but Adam, don't they have parallels of this card numbered to more than 10?
Not the patch version. Not the patch. There's a regular jersey version, and I don't know if it says prime. I don't think it does, because it's just a purple patch.
I would guess it wouldn't say prime on that one, Adam. That would be
I agree.
It definitely doesn't say prime. They're limited to 49. It's just a solid purple patch, and yeah, they're highly affordable. But this one is, this is quite special.
Quite special. W Edit says, I'm too broke to afford these cards. You're not alone, W, but there's so much more money out there than we can ever imagine and comprehend in our own brains. Chef Young Walter, welcome to the show. Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, guys, let's go back to, we're on page 2 now. Let's stick on page 2. Let's go to the top and see if there's anything that you want to talk. How about this Paul Skeens, Ryan, this gold gilded superfractor from Topps Chrome, PSA 10. This is a beautiful card. Why is it so cheap right now? I don't know much about the Topps, the way they build their sets and that. So what's the gilded collection? Do you know, Ryan? Anything you can share with us on that? Because this card is gorgeous, and it's got the on-card autograph that is, not a sticker, and it's beautiful. How is this card only $21,000?
Yeah, it's definitely a fair question, to be honest. We did some content on this card, and Skeens Topps Chrome Update PSA 10, his Superfractor rookie auto PSA 10 sold for like $120,000, maybe a few months ago. And granted, that was probably during the season, but gilded is arguably a superior set. It's far more attractive, in my opinion. Same grade, PSA 10, on-card autograph. To me, this one has a lot of room.
I would think so. And it's actually a beautiful card. You get the color match with the Pirates as well. I mean, this is a beauty, and it's just graded. I think that's a special card. I don't collect this ultra modern baseball, but if I did and I had 21K lying around, this might be a target for me. Adam, Upper Deck Legends throwback Jordan LeBron dual auto here out of 25. Where does this card fall in the spectrum of dual Jordan LeBron autos? We're at 60,000, so it tells me it's up there somewhere. But these appear also, I think, to be on card, which is definitely a good thing. And both autos are basically perfect. Like this card's was this from 03? What? Yep. Yeah, this is a rookie, and it's a rookie year LeBron card.
That's right.
Adam, why? Okay, 60 grand. It seems light to me for a Jordan auto with on a LeBron rookie year.
You hit everything, Jeremy. You hit everything. It's 03. It's on card. Everything you said is what I would say. The only thing that I would add is in LeBron's rookie season, he's just got so many different forms of his autograph. And this is one of the longer ones. It's sort of, there's a lot going on there. And I always like those early ones, compare this to like the Ultimate Collection, compare it to an Ultimate Collection insert or an SP Authentic or an SP Authentic insert. And to me, it's just a vastly superior card when you have that long autograph. And then you have the greatest player of all time with it. That we were already putting him on cards with Jordan in his rookie year 22 years ago is so cool. So yeah, I love this card and would love to be able to own something like this one. It's fantastic.
How about you, Ryan? Any thoughts on this beauty?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Card Channel, but his Instagram highlights how few Michael Jordan and LeBron James dual autograph issues there are in existence, specifically from LeBron's rookie year. This is one of those extremely limited productions, only 25 in existence. To Adam's point, you have that long MJ autograph and the LeBron autograph, beautifully penned, 9.5, dual pristine autos. I mean, to me, this is one of the most attractive dual autograph issues.
And it's a classy sort of simple design. It's not overwhelming. It's really to feature the autographs, and I think it does a great job of showcasing them. And for a card that is over 20 years old, whoever owned this card up until now has been storing it properly because it just looks so good. So kudos to them. We had a question in the chat from Mike Nunya. Have we talked about the Kobe Black Mamba inscription yet? His second favorite card in the Premier Auction this month. We have not, Mike Nunya, but we're going to. Ryan, any idea what page I might find that card on so we can just sort of...
Page one, yeah.
Page 1. All right, let's find that. Tell me when I get to it, guys.
There
it is. There. All right, let's open this bad boy up and take a look right at it. It's a PSA 1010 on the card and the auto worth $72,500. And that auto, that's about as, I'm not usually not an inscription guy, but if a card is meant to have an inscription, I get it. That's very rare, very amazing. Who wants to go first? Adam, Ryan, Ryan, you were just talking. You want to talk first about this card?
What do you mean you're not an inscription guy? I feel like that's...
No, I'm not, dude. I think that, listen, if a card is built for inscriptions, I'm all for it. But generally speaking, I find that autographs, and this, I know, I'm a very odd collector, let's say. But oftentimes I find inscriptions, they become distracting. And I know they're awesome for so many other reasons, but I like a clean look more or less. And so I'm not a huge inscription guy, but I'm certainly in the vast minority on that. And I know that, and I'm okay with it. So don't worry about my opinion. Let's hear yours.
Well, I think this is a really special card, and I think Adam might know quite a bit more about this issue than me, but I believe it's Kobe's first Panini inscription card, and it's serial number 1 of 99, I believe, on the reverse, and it's a dual PSA 10. So it's an extremely important card. Pop, one of only 5, I think, to have earned a dual PSA 10 assessment. So this is, without question, one of Kobe's best autograph issues. And for me, I personally love the inscription. The Black Mamba nickname inscription. This is a common inscription for this issue. I believe he does like MVP, and maybe one other inscription as well, Adam, but I think it may be like 5X, or no, it wouldn't have been 5X champ. There's one other inscription in there, but this is an incredibly important Black Mamba issue.
Yeah, I'm Mike and I are aligned. This is my second favorite card in the auction too. You did a great job. Notice the name of the set is Notable Nicknames. So everybody in the set was supposed to sign their nickname, and I think pretty much everybody in the set did a good job of signing their name, their regular signature, and their nickname, which is what you want. We've all seen where somebody just signs their nickname, and that's not as cool as this, where you have both of them. It's really it's special. I would also point out it's from, Ryan said it's the first Panini era inscription. I think that's true. It's definitely from the first year of National Treasures. And as far as like the first year of Panini goes, I'm just going to be real. Most of first year Panini was really forgettable. The only exception was National Treasures with the RPA. In my mind, the only one that was the RPAs. Steph RPA is, one of the cards of the era. And then this card is like the next card that I would say is really memorable from that first year of Panini. The question that I have, because I've never gotten to do the research on this, and Mike might know this, and so Mike, please chime in if you do. I believe that all 99 of these are Black Mamba, and then there's the other version that's MVP, and then I think that's like a whole new 99 though. I could be wrong about this though. It's either there's 99 total, or there's 99 just of this one and 99 of the MVP. And then there's another one, and I think it's Vino, V-I-N-O, that's the other inscription, but I'm not sure. Ryan, I think that's what you're thinking about. I think that's from another year though. I don't think that's from this year.
Well, Ken Sumner here in the chat is just saying not true. So I don't know if Ken could actually give Ken, can you expand on that and tell us what the formatting was of those?
Well, and I didn't say that that's what it was. I was asking a question. So if I don't know what Ken's going on about.
So he's saying it's other than the way you described it, I suppose. And but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe he does, or instead of I don't want you to have to refer to all your reference materials, Adam, to find it out. But if someone in the chat could let us know, that would be great. He says finals MVP. I don't know what that means, but he says finals MVP. So in any event, a great card, a great inscription. I love that it's a notable nickname that he did and that he did it right. I think that's very, very cool. And the ink is great. Like the ink is still very nicely preserved and nice and bright blue. Pretty cool card. Adam, it's your second favorite in the whole auction. That says something right there. No doubt about that. All right, let's keep going. Let's find another card. If only we could find another card to talk about, guys. I don't know, Ryan.
I kind of liked, one thing I wanted to touch on was that 03 top scoring black refractor LeBron James rookie. Just scroll up a hair there. So yeah, this is an interesting card in that the last PSA 10 to sell, which we sold maybe 2 months ago, sold for $150,000. And this is one of the most condition sensitive LeBron top scoring rookie cards. That black parallel limited to 500. It's, condition sensitive with those tough black borders. So this is a really interesting LeBron rookie, one that, I think is pretty undervalued at this point in the bidding.
And just so you know, we spent some time on this card before you arrived. I think even before Adam arrived tonight, and I looked at it very closely with the chat, the audience. It could be a Beckett Black Label 10. That's how perfect I think this. I looked at it closely, like the edges, the corners, the centering. I could see nothing wrong with the surface that I could see in 2 dimensions here on my screen. I think this card is this could get eye appeal for a PSA 10, which I don't know if you give eye appeals on PSA 10. You do. This could have potentially got an eye appeal assessment, Ryan.
Well, it has to predate 1987.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah, there you go. But if you did go through till later years, this card could be deserving of that.
Well, that could be another one of those, that could be an investment thing. That has NBA. Potential for investment where you could take this to NBA.
Yeah. And
if they NBA gold it, then you might get a tremendous amount of value out there.
Good call.
Yeah. I just want to shout out, guys. We've got over 160 people with us right now on various platforms, mostly on YouTube. But if you are watching on Instagram, either my Instagram or Adam's Instagram, come on over to YouTube. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, come on over to YouTube, guys. That's where the party's at. That's where the true auction ending watch party is at here on the Fanatics Collect monthly Premier Auction. Okay, back to the irregularly scheduled programming. Let's find another card.
Real quick, sorry, just some clarification real quick. I love this comment right here from Linda's first. Is his name Mike? Is that right? Where he said, sorry, I'm getting feedback. Where he says there's only one listed on trading card database. That's big. I would like to know what the breakdown between MVP and Black Mamba is. And Ken Sumner, that was not correct. It's not finals MVP. It is. I was right. It's MVP.
All right, let's clarify. Good stuff. Guys, let's take a look at a hockey card here. We've got a 2015 Upper Deck The Cup Connor McDavid rookie patch auto. This is his #1 rookie card. And it's a BGS 910 surface. I love seeing that because I'm a surface guy. 8.5 centering. When you look at the card, when I look at the centering on this card, I always look at the width of the white border down on the bottom right and the bottom left corners, and it's certainly not perfectly centered. It is shifted off to the right. Edges 9.5, corners are a 9, about what you expect on a thick card like this. I just look at these markings here. That's on the slab. BGS slabs are just so prone to scratches and blemishes, so you got to look through that to get a true sense for the surface of the card. It's nice to see that they gave it a 10 for surface, and it's the surface of their own slab that kind of hinders some of the eye appeal, but that just is what it is. Don't let that bother you. Autograph looks really good. A nice 3-color patch with patch, stitching, jersey. It's all there. But I can tell you, of the 99 copies, I do believe like 96 or 97 of them were 3 colors. So it's not a rare thing among the 99 copies of the card to have a 3-color, but not all 3 colors are created equal. This is a very nice one. Whichever way you look at it, this is a monster of a card, and it's sitting at $46,000 right now. He's currently, I think tonight, he's serving game 2 of a 3-game suspension. The NHL just kind of, you find ways not to suspend the marquee player in your. Imagine you bought tickets to see him like 8 months ago or 5 months ago, and you go to see him and he's not there. You're flying into Edmonton to take your kid, and all of a sudden he's not there because he's suspended. I don't know. Maybe there shouldn't be bias towards the best players in the sport, but maybe there should be. I'm not sure. Any thoughts on this card, Ryan? Start with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you nailed it. It's Connor's, one of his. I would say it's probably his most important RPA. I mean, that patch is one of the best out there. Sweet on-card autograph, true RPA, BGS 9, really tough to beat, to be honest.
Yeah. Adam, any thoughts from you?
No, I love your thoughts on it. Yeah, and I don't know I don't know how good Connor McDavid will be in the end. That's what my question is on a big card like this. Do you find yourself, Jeremy, being more sort of into cards like this? They're a little bit, I won't say higher numbered, but like there's 1 of 1s and 1 of 5s out there from his rookie year. Would you rather have one of those or one of his most iconic ultra high end card?
I think I've tricked myself into not wanting these high end RPAs because I just can't afford them, number one. So I don't want to covet something I not to say I don't have bigger goals and, I don't want to cut myself off and say, oh, I'm never going to get there. No, maybe one day I will be able to afford it, but I also don't want to sell cards I'd have to buy it. So to your question, no, I kind of do prefer a lower numbered card. I also am very happy buying a second year card that has, game use memorabilia and an on-card auto. And if I'm going to save 95% of my money by buying a second year card, I'm just not a big rookie card guy. Vintage, yes. Modern, ultra modern, the RC designation means almost nothing to me. I'm as good with an RY designation, like an essential credentials or, a more limited parallel or insert. And I'm also okay with a second year auto patch with game used. Not all cup RPAs are game used. I always forget if this one is, but let's just take a peek and see if this says game used. And this one is a photo shoot. So this is a photo shoot. They only have one photo shoot, which is an important event in the player's overall career, even though it's kind of like, it's kind of like a Hallmark holiday, right? It's an Upper Deck holiday more than anything, or whatever the card manufacturer is, but they only do that once. So it's an important event, and I get that. But for me, I'd rather save 95% of my money and go buy a second year game used patch auto on card.
Awesome.
Ryan,
I love that perspective.
Ryan, what do you think of that? I mean, rookie cards, obviously, and I know I'm in the minority yet again, but I'm okay with that. What do you think?
That is the age-old debate, and it's tough to argue about with what the hobby believes is important. But there's there's actually a few Connor McDavid rookie patch autographs in this Premier auction that were flashed in. Like, I believe they're PSA 10s from, the Cup. And they're amazing rookie cards. And for the price, I'd take those.
Well, okay, so let's look at those, because you're right. I think there's a limited logos and there's an honorable numbers. And I looked at them earlier because here, let's do this really quick. If I go to Premier here and I go to McDavid.
Let's touch on these McDavid rookies real quick, and then I want to shout out Nate. He posed he raised a question about the Kobe.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you, Nate. We'll do that right after. So we've also got the limited logos out of 50. Now you just used the term rookie cards, you said, and the hobby would say, no, these are not rookie cards. They are rookie year cards. I would say, no, they're rookie cards. Adam would say they're rookie year cards, they're not rookie cards. And I don't know. I know I'm not doing it right, but like, to me, I don't care if it's got a number on the back that is in line with the base set or it's an insert numbering. To me, it's a rookie year card is as good as a rookie card. And this limited logos is game worn it says it's game worn on the back, where the honorable numbers is not. So $24,000 for a card that has half the print run of the RPA. It is also an on-card auto. And it has a game use patch, not a photo shoot. And look at that. It's about half the price. It's also a pop 1.
Yep.
This is the card, you guys. This limited logos is the McDavid card, in my opinion. This card gets all the love because it's the rookie card. It's the RPA. I think the savvy purchase is this one here. And then this one here is like a little brother to the RPA, because it's photo shoot as well, but it's at a 97, which is basically the same as this at a 99. It's also a beautiful card. It's
horizontal.
Yeah,
It's horizontal.
It's horizontal.
It's horizontal, but yeah, I mean, so is the Bobby Orr rookie and the Mickey Mantle and
100%. Yeah,
the Maze. Like, so many are, right? Like, but that said, it's still a beautiful card, and it's you're going to get it for what, 20% of the price or so, Ryan?
$10,000. That's a steal.
Yeah,
So
this is going to be 60.
Yeah.
This is the same question that we always ask when we look at the LeBron 03 exquisites, and it's such a good question, because it's like, fundamentally almost everything sides with the limited logos, right? It's game used and it's autographed, and I mean, it's the other one's autographed too, but it's rarer. It's from the rookie year. It's just that when somebody asks you, oh, have you ever owned the McDavid RPA? You know what card they're talking about. They're talking about the card to 99. And when we do all of our iconic lists and like what cards people know of and stuff, like, even though I agree with you on everything you said, Jeremy, like, people still know what card you're talking about, and it's the one out of 99, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and that's where I mean, I've been harping on this for years now, but that's where I think that in time, I think there's going to be a shift, and it's not around the corner. It might be in 5 or 10 years where people are going to be like, I want game used or I want nothing.
Yeah,
Maybe. Time will tell.
I hope you're right, because I'd love to see the LeBron limited logos switch places with the out of 99. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to.
With that said, the rookie card, and just check out Victor's YouTube channel, True RCs, where he is there to protect the sanctity of the good old-fashioned rookie card, and I respect him to death for that, even though we see things differently. It's not like we don't disagree. We just have different approaches to collecting and what's important to us. But that said, I completely recognize that the rookie card is so important on our, and it's very important to me for cards basically up to like 1989. After that, I don't really care about the RC. I care about the RY, or I care about game used memorabilia. So great quadrant of, it's not a, what's the trio and quad? Great quadrant of, great quadrant of, even though that's an area measurement, but a great quadrant here of McDavid Cup cards.
You've got to read Linda's first comment while we're here.
Jeremy arguing against the RC label case in the Supreme Court of the hobby. I'm not arguing against it. Honestly, I'm not. I understand it. It's just I'm not going to attribute value to it unless I think that it deserves it personally. Ryan, where are you at right now?
I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. You threw out some years there, but I you take a lot of stock in that rookie, in that true rookie, right? But you covet that 48 leaf Jackie Robinson rookie card in your collection. But what about 47 Bond Bread Jackie?
Yeah,
or
I mean,
previous years. It's like that's a I don't know.
I'm
It's
no,
hard.
you raised a good question. I mean, and that's just personal preference. I'm not an oddball guy. I like the major issues from the major companies. And to me, Leaf was one. Bond Bread wasn't really, to me, it's not even on my radar.
No.
I do like that Mantle, the dog food card. I love that. The
54 Red Heart.
Red Heart. I love that Mantle. To me, that's a beauty. I would own that card. But yeah, that's why I've qualified it consistently, saying pre-1989, the RC designation is very important to me. It is. It's very important to me. Pre-89, because there weren't a million, or let's be more conservative, there weren't 5,000 other cards in the rookie year of all these players. There was maybe one or two. So, you knew what you had to work with. Nowadays, there's been so much innovation and creativity on how to insert cards of players in their rookie year that is not an RC. And those, to me, just look to the old Gene McLeod arena design era in the 90s. You want to blame somebody for my position, blame my good friend Gene McLeod.
Hey, I got
actually your fault.
I got to jump in and just say I love that we have two really smart commenters. Those last two comments that literally are exact opposites. Stadium Sports Card says the McCut McDavid is it. No shift will happen. And then Mike Nunya jumps in and says, I actually prefer the LeBron 03 limited logos over his RPA. They're exact opposites. They're saying this. They're saying exact opposites, but that's why the hobbies, you don't have to. We disagree on so many things, even though some of us have done it for decades. We still disagree, and that's a wonderful thing. You take your case and you make it, and you live with that. And that's it.
Let's go back to Stadium's comment here, where he says no shift will happen, and unfortunately, I think he might be right, and that to me just tells me something about the sophistication of the hobby, that it's just lacking in some places. But that's probably good for the hobby. No, you don't think? Right? Let's go back to TR says, when does this auction actually end? How many rounds of these 1 minute biddings? Well, until there is no bid TR for 1 full minute, they will go until next year if they have to. But usually this ends at about, I want to say about 12:30 Eastern or so, about 10:30 my time, about 9:30 Pacific. So there's still another hour left of these 1 minute tick downs. Every time TR that a bid is placed on any item in the auction, that clock will reset to 1 minute. Mike Nunya says the Vino's not part. We did that. Nate Flesher wants to touch on this Kobe Cirque du Soleil card. I know that's not what it is, but I just said that to be funny. So which one are we talking about?
It's this set. Yeah, it's a 5-card set
right here.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. And I'm gonna zoom in, Ryan. While I think you want to talk about it, so I'm gonna zoom in on this. And why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, this is an interesting set. If I could bid in this auction, this honestly would have been one that I would have pursued pretty aggressively. To me, this and I can't pronounce the French, but I believe it translates to the 5 most beautiful. And each one of these Kobe autographs are limited to 24. I don't know. To me, I find these to be some of the most attractive Kobe autograph issues in existence. And each one of these, PSA assessed and dual assessed, I believe they're like pop 1 or pop 2s with none higher, all of these. So complete set here. And this has seen some incredible bidding action on the last day. I think this was sitting at like 7K by the start of today. And it's already up, 28,000, 29,000?
Yes, I think that it's at 28.5. So yep, you're right in there. Yeah.
55 bids. I don't know, Adam. How do you feel about this Panini Kobe autograph set?
Muted. You're muted, buddy.
I don't know how I did that. Must have been coughing too much. Sorry, guys. I just remember people talking about this set with Court Kings a lot in the early days because there's sort of this, I don't want to call it a cult following for Court Kings, but there's a lot of love for Court Kings. It looks really different, right? There's some stuff that you sort of look at and you go, I'm not sure if that's National Treasures or if that, I'm not sure what that is, but Court Kings is Court Kings and it just looks like it. And this set like wasn't on my radar for a really long time. And then I've had people over the years sort of talk to me about it and point out how different it is. And the cards are really low numbered and there's the 5 different ones and how it was just for Kobe. And like, it's never been on my radar, but it probably should be because it's from that first year of Panini. They're really rare. And, when's the last time that you saw all 5 of them up at the same time? Right now, it's about $7,000 a card and they're out of 24. Like, that's pretty cool. It's really pretty cool. And then the only thing I'll add is the reason that Court Kings has that cult following, I think, isn't just because it stands out as different. It's also really nice. Like, it's a really lovely lower end brand where you get like an artsy sort of look. It looks like they're painted, images of the players. And in this case, they're also really cool, like moments from his career and action shots. And so I love the big autographs. I like it a lot. I honestly probably should have given it more thought before tonight.
5 Kobe autos, Adam. 5 Kobe on-card autos. Mike Nunya says they almost remind me of Chronology, which I agree with. Yeah,
that's true.
This to me is a bit of a sleeper item in the auction because where can you buy a Kobe auto for $5,500? I don't think you can. Ryan?
Yeah.
I thought you come off mute. I thought you wanted to jump in. So okay.
No, I was just giving Mike Nunya a thumbs up there. I mean, in terms of overall beauty, it mirrors that chronology set, and again, you have a dual PSA 10 there. That alone, that card right there, card number 2, that might be a 12K card, 15K card.
Yeah, good call on that too. I mean, those dual 10s are very sought after and desirable by the hobby. This is a nice trio of Kobe autos as well. I actually think these cards are, to my eye, are nicer. There's just more shine to them. Yeah. You got this big full picture of Kobe holding the trophy. These are pretty awesome. Adam, what are these?
So Intrigue was a set that I think they only did a couple times, maybe only once. I don't know it super well. I have seen there's some parallels in the set that are like ultra hollow foil, but they look like the old Flair Showcase. I think you guys might know what I'm talking about, like the gold ones that are out of 10 and there's the platinums out of 1, and they're beautiful, but there's a lot of different variations. That's really all I know about the set. And I don't know this Kobe, but again, I'm sort of sitting here wishing, like the last ones that we just looked at, I'm wishing that I had done more research because I'd like to know, here we have 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, and 1 out of 1. Is that all 3 levels? I would guess it probably is. It's all the same image, so it's not different images. It means it's a parallel of each other. It's probably the whole run in one go. What's the price at right now, Jeremy?
These are at 20,000.
You get a 1 of 1 in there. You
get a 1 of 1.
It's pretty cool.
This is a good, this is too low, is it not? I think this is too low. I just feel like there's room to grow here. Someone's going to get 3 Kobe autos. I don't know. That look, and like you said, there's the 1 of 1 in there. There's the 1 of 10, the 1 of 20. Yeah, and they're all different foils, I think, as well, which is kind of when you read one says Winning Ink Platinum. That's the 1 of 1. Winning Ink Gold. Winning Ink Regular. Yeah. So 3 different foils as well. You can tell they all do look a little bit different here as well. Anyway, what a great lot that is right there. Whoever's going to take that home, I just want to give you my personal congratulations. What a card. So those are the Kobe's in the it's fun doing it by player here. Josh Giddy's giving us all some love. He loves me here. He loves Adam there, and he loves Ryan right over here. Thank you, Josh Giddy Super Collector. Appreciate your love. Truly. And then there's a Rubies, Adam. There's also a Rubies Kobe out of 45. How do you like this card, Adam?
What's cool because it's from the 90s and it's one of the iconic parallels, right? It's the 3rd year of the serial numbers and they generally get a lot less love, but they're the rarest. So it's, it's very, very cool from that perspective. It doesn't have, like the previous years, have like a lot of movement. The stars in the background here don't move as much, but there's a little bit, and they sure stand out from the base cards. That's pretty much all I'd say about that one.
Ryan, any thoughts on the Kobe Rubies from 1999?
Yeah, I think Adam touched on it really well. I think, this being the third year production, but it's the rarest. Most Star Rubies are limited to 50, and this one's limited to only 45. So, quite a bit more rare. BGS 8.5. I actually like this image of Kobe, the young Kobe, and his number 8, Lakers uniform. And that red letter foiling really pops. Again, you get some that Beckett holder, you get some doesn't present extremely well. But it really shines very well in person when you tilt it in light.
Well said. Agreed. Stale Prod here made the comment. He says true rookie is better than insert rookie, and I think a lot of people agree with that. I want to ask a question to Stale Prod in this. I want to ask, what about parallel? Is a true rookie better than a parallel, or are you considering true rookie to include its parallels, Stale Prod? I'm just curious what you think about that. Mike Nunya said, I'd rather have the other 5 Kobe autos. These all look too similar, but they are nice. They are more similar. These 3 are more similar than these 5 are all different. I give me either. I'm very happy. Like, they're just both so darn cool. Chef Young Walter talks about the Ronaldo Prism 1-of-1 auto. Wow. Let's take a look at that. Ryan Tedmus, in the event you need to get going, I want to say and I have a feeling your time is up here. I want to say thank you for joining us, my friend. It's always good to have you jump on and face some difficult questions, explain some things about the platform. Greatly appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Jeremy, Adam, always a pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
All right, man. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you next month.
Good to see you, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Chef Young Walter says Ronaldo Prism 1-of-1 auto. Wow. And I say, let's take a look at that for Chef Young Walter. And we were talking about this card right here at $31,000. I have to listen. I think that the wow comment is a combination of wow, what a card, and wow, maybe $31,000 too. I don't know. This is a 1-of-1 Ronaldo auto on a Prism card. That to me seems like a pretty big deal. And this is a nice looking card. You can obviously see the sticker auto. This card was not designed well for the sticker, but listen, soccer cards, I don't know how many times we see on card outside of the highest end products. And this card's pretty special. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this Ronaldo?
Whenever you've got a black Prism, people always love it. And sometimes the autograph, I agree, isn't additive. I don't know if it says CR7, so it's not a base card. It's an insert autograph, which is how most of the autographs are in Prism. Not always. Sometimes it still has a normal
I think it's
number on
the
the back.
black. Yeah, I think you're right, because it's Prism World Cup Qatar signature black Prism. I'm not going to pretend to know that maybe his base card is 7 and the autos are numbered CR7, which would be different, of course. But yeah, pretty cool card right there, no doubt. Thanks for pointing that one out, Chef Young Walter. Now, TR wants to know about the LeBron Superfractor, which we haven't looked at yet. So let's look at the LeBron Superfractor, Adam, because I was looking at this card the other day, this one right here. And I got to tell you, this is one of these cases where it's a little gimmicky. He's holding up the 40,000 points, title with the date he did it. And he's in the white suit, like some of his, the card. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I love this. I actually really love that they did this. I think it's gorgeous. It's a mint 9. What's it sitting at? $42,000. I mean, that's not chump change, of course.
No.
So I don't know where this ends or what it's worth, but it feels to me like it's worth, I'm not surprised that it's at 42. If it said 80, I wouldn't be surprised there right now. So I like this card, Adam, but I think your opinion is going to be more interesting than mine.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's ever true, Jeremy, but thank you for saying it. This card I've got lots of data on because I did one of my reels on this card. So here's some data points for you. Topps Chrome LeBron James. He has 8 superfractors from back in the day, just 8. 7 of them are base parallels of the base set, and then 1 is from like a parallel of a parallel, and that's it from his first days. Then LeBron James didn't have another superfractor from 2009 all the way until 2023 because of the Panini era, right? Now we know this card is not licensed by the NBA, and some people, for them, that's it. They just don't want anything to do with it. But it is licensed by the NBA Players Association, and it is his 9th now superfractor. And there's 9 total superfractors that were made in 2023 Chrome of LeBron James. So there's a few of them. There's an autographed version of this, and then there's this one. But what I love about it, I'm with you on this. I actually look at that image of LeBron, and it makes me forget that the card's not licensed because the border around it looks just like 03 Topps. It looks just like it's supposed to. And then it pays homage to 2 things, and you highlighted both of them. One, that it's just like the Wilt Chamberlain 100 points. And it's because if you look at the date underneath the 40,000, it's March 2nd. It's on the anniversary of Wilt's 100-point game.
Oh,
so that's really cool. And then the other part is his Topps rookie, before they had superfractors, is him wearing a white suit. So there is no rookie LeBron in a superfractor. They started making them the next year. So this sort of, I would say, I'm reaching here a little bit, but like this sort of is like that replacement of that. Can you imagine what that would be worth, by the way? It would be like so into the millions of dollars. This is not going to, close for anything close to that. But like it pays homage to Wilt. It pays homage to the first LeBron and his white suit. And I love it. Even though people are like, oh, it's hokey or whatever. Like I love it, and I'm glad to see it get some love today.
I really do too. And it's funny you said earlier in your commentary there that you forgot it wasn't licensed. I didn't realize it wasn't licensed. Like I just didn't put that together when I looked at it. It reminds me that a very, very, very important and popular Steph Curry rookie card comes to mind.
That's right.
So like I don't know. I'm not trying to make the argument for unlicensed cards. I'm just saying that there are some cases where other things sort of trump that in the hobby. Even Joe Montana's rookie card is another example of that, where it just doesn't matter. Nobody cares that it's not licensed, but there were no licensed cards that year either. So it's a different situation. This is a beautiful card. It's made by Topps, which helps. It's not made by a company that only makes unlicensed cards, et cetera, et cetera. So cool card. I like it. I just want to go back. So Stale Prod answered my question. He said gold parallel, then true 99, then the rest. So I think Stale Prod is only talking about the cup, which is a fair opinion. Of course, all opinions are fair. Some might be wrong, but they're all fair. I'm just kidding. So I thought he was talking about all cards of any player in a year, but I think he's only talking about the cup. So we'll just move on from there. And Michael here says, with no license and many other LeBron James cards in his uniform, I think it's a cool look with his white suit. Yeah, and I like what you said, Adam. It's a throwback for a few reasons. I think it's a very cool card, and I'm not surprised that it is getting $42,000 as we sit right now.
One last question for you here. So the last Chrome superfractor that moved publicly was his 2004. It's his first superfractor, and so some people think it's his best. Do you remember what it sold for?
No, I don't.
It sold for $720,000. So it is viewed as one of the best LeBron cards in the world, and that's the last time a Chrome Super moved, and it was four plus years ago. Moved publicly. So that's why to see one up right now, even though it's not, one of the old ones, I think we all knew it was gonna get some love.
I'm seeing half bids come in now, Adam. The bonds just went from 23,750 to 24,000 in front of our eyes.
Thank you.
It's a nice bonds, PMG. What I consider the champ, even though I don't think it's called that in baseball, but the precious metal gems Barry Bonds out of 50 from 1998 Metal Universe, an absolutely amazing card. I want to look at this LeBron James rookie card. I personally do own a copy of this in a BGS 9. This is a BGS 8.5. This card is numbered to 102. And it just looks again look at all the blemishes on the holder here. I think they're on the holder. Some might be on the card. I'm not sure, but it does grade out an 8.5.
So you're such a discerning collector as far as like your spot in your collection. That's your LeBron James card, right? Is the credentials. What about the credentials was it that made you go, that's the LeBron that I want? I've got some reasons, but I wonder, I would love to hear like why you love it as much as you do.
Well, this is not a great picture of it, first of all. I just pulled up the copy. Like, this is my picture of it that I have in my database. And you can just see how bright the blue is. So it's a lot nicer there. I'm also noticing that if you look at his arm here on my copy, it goes arm and then it goes blue acetate. On this copy, if you look at his arm there in the same place, there's something wrong with the way this card is constructed, because you see the back of the card coming through. You don't see that on my copy. So that's like it's not registration, it's a construction issue of these multi-layered cards, where you can see that. You also see it to the right of the basketball here. On the copy that I own, you don't see it. It's a clean finish between the edge of the ball and the acetate, and there you've got it. So, I'm just because I noticed something off about this copy, and surface gets an 8. I don't know why, if it scratches. Centering a 9.5. There's no grade on this card for like alignment of layers. So to your question though, Adam, I'm a huge I love essential credentials card. I love what I call technology cards. And I learned that term from Upper Deck. They call them technology cards, where you have a card that is more than just like a simple card. In this case, you've got die cut cardboard with like foil surface, layered on top of colored acetate with hollow foil in different places, other markings in other places. I mean, die cut cardboard on colored acetate. That's the sweet spot for me. Like, I just love that stuff. Adam, think about the 97 essential credentials brought back in 2012 Fleer Retro. Like, in hockey, we're lucky. We hockey collectors are lucky because they were, hockey was the only licensed Fleer Retro versus, licensed by the professional leagues versus basketball, football, and baseball. So, or at least, I don't know if there's a baseball, but basketball and football for sure. So in any event, I just love this card. It's beautiful in hand. This image doesn't do it justice. Three reasons. The Beckett case, the Beckett slab is just low quality, and so they blemishes really easily. Number two, the background of this image was a dark background, so it doesn't really make the card look as good as it can. I'm just going to spotlight myself for a second, Adam, so everything else will disappear, just to show everybody what that card can actually look like with a white background. So that's what this card actually looks like versus that. It's a lot darker. And then the third thing is that this card was just not constructed properly. It's like the layers did not line up where they did on my copy. I'm very thankful for. So those are my thoughts on that card, Adam. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I love it. The only thing I'll add is well, I've had two things. I wouldn't have noticed the construction thing if you wouldn't have said it. It doesn't bother me personally. It's not I don't think of it as a huge deal. I think of it more as like oh, hey, look, I can see that on the back, but I might feel the same way about a registration thing. And I know how much you love registration. And so I love your comment there. And then the other thing that I want to say about it is, if you're a Fleer Skybox guy, okay, and you look back at LeBron's rookie year, I personally think the EX has a chance, or like not a chance, has a case for being like the Fleer Skybox rookie card of LeBron James. And that's despite the fact that he's in a practice jersey, because of that name, because of EX and credentials. And my last point, I'm going to ask you this question. See if you know this. This is a hard test for you, but I'm going to ask you anyways. So this is the now version, which is to 102. Do you know what the future LeBron is number 2? It's number 1. And it's sold for the first time publicly 4 years ago now. And eBay had a major issue where they didn't let any of their approved bidders bid at the last few minutes, including Nat. I interviewed Nat about this for BCF, and he confirmed the story. That card today is definitely a 7-figure card, in my opinion. I think it's definitely a 7-figure card. And Nat didn't get to win it, and other guys didn't get to bid on it because eBay had a major issue. How about that? So no one knows publicly where it went. So
that's crazy. So I just want to say, your comment where it doesn't bother you that you can see through to the details on the back of the card, that to me, this is it's a registration issue, which you called out. To me, it's not registration issues you really pertain to the printing process of putting the 4 printing plates on the cardboard in perfect alignment. That would be a perfectly registered, a card with perfect registration. Clear focus. This is a blurry. This makes it blurry. To me, it's a registration of the layers of the card itself versus the ink. And so to say it doesn't bother you, I'm surprised, because it's certainly a defect. It's a flaw. It's an imperfection, and it makes the card look not as nice as other copies of it. So I'm just surprised that it doesn't bother you at all.
It doesn't bother, let me clarify, it doesn't bother me like it bothers you. If I went through and I found out that all of them but one didn't have or had this issue, it wouldn't bother me almost at all. And I would look at yours and say, Jeremy, you've got this really cool one because it lines up exactly the right way. But I would care about it more in terms of like how it compares to others. I don't think of it as being as serious as like something that's really blurry, because it's like printed on the back. It's intended for the back. Now I get what you're saying. That's just how I feel about it. I don't care as much as you do about it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's keep on going. We got this card here that I opened up 2008 Upper Deck Premier pairings, Jordan LeBron, dual auto at a 25. And I like looking at these because I always, this card is 17 years old, and I want to see how the autos hold up and give my opinion on them. And first of all, this is a beautiful card. Upper Deck Premier. Originally, and I don't know about basketball, but in hockey for sure, it was the predecessor to Upper Deck Ultimate Collection. It went Premier then Ultimate. Adam, did they come out in that order in basketball too?
No. Premier came out I believe in 2007 in basketball. So 7 years later after Ultimate.
Yeah. So I just want to call out these autos grade a 10, and deservedly so. They're absolutely beautiful. That Jordan auto is just perfect. The LeBron auto is just perfect. The card design is beautiful. Upper Deck Premier, Upper Deck Ultimate, exquisite. The cup, all beautiful products in my opinion. Like, I just love those Upper Deck products so much from a visual and aesthetic perspective. Design, use of foil, layout, serial numbering, all of it. Just love them. I love this card, Adam. It's beautiful. 22,500. Is this about where you'd expect it to be?
Yeah, I don't know about price. I don't keep track of those things like other people do, but I co-sign on everything you said. What I always say about a card like this is, if that had the word exquisite on it instead of premier, it would stand out as a glorious card and would sell for 2 to 3 times what it sells for. And that, to me, where I'm buying the Jordan LeBron duel for those 2 autographs, and I want them to be really nice, and they've been well taken care of and haven't seen too much light. Jeremy, I don't know if you're going to find a better dual autograph than this. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's absolutely spectacular.
They both held that card. They both held that card. It's awesome. That
right there is pretty. First, I want to go. TR was grateful that we talked about the superfractor. Thank you, TR, for joining us tonight. Rage says, "Good eye. Hope it isn't a fake." I don't think it's a fake. I think it's just the construction of the card wasn't as good on that sheet for all the players likely as it was on others. Rage, Beckett's having some reputational issues for sure. Rage says it almost looks like the Quicksilver shadow effect on the credentials. LeBron, the slick silver, he says.
Yep.
But it's one of his favorite designs. Period. Says it's like a swollen puzzle piece. Jeremy's right. It is like a bit of a swollen puzzle piece. I'm not saying I agree with my opinion, but I'm okay if other people don't. Chef Young Walters has always been confused why that dual auto of them is so slept on. I wonder, are you talking about the Premier in general or any dual auto of Jordan? Do you know? You're nodding at him. Do you know what he's getting at?
I think he's saying that one. I think he's saying that, like, that specific card. And I agree. Like, it's just because of the name brand. And to me, and I think you feel the same, Jeremy. Like, sometimes the name brand sort of can help you out, can help you get a really amazing card for a better price.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about credentials. I even mentioned these 97s earlier being why I love credentials, whether it's a rookie card or not. But look at this Kobe credentials from 1997. You've got I've heard someone, Phil from the Hockey Cards Gong Show calls this the Valentine's Day card because it's all pink and red and purple, like roses on Valentine's Day, I guess. I think that's a good nickname for it. And this is such a neat card, all the cards this year, because you've literally got look, first you've got the Kobe die cut on the same layer as this purple, almost foil-like surface, which is then die cut here and all the way around here. Then you've got this two-tone pinkish red acetate behind it. There might even be some foil in this middle stripe. I'm not sure, Adam, but like this card is like, what were they thinking of doing this? I just love that they were thinking of this back in the day, and that it's I really just love these cards. They're so out there, I feel like. Adam, any thoughts on that?
If you ask me, show me a card that has like the most intricate, crazy printing processes ever, and I think if you asked you the same question, we would both think about this set, and the fact that it's 28 years old is just baffling, right? Like, I don't know that we've seen anything 28 years later that comes close to this level of intricacy. It's like you say, it's the plastic, the foil on the plastic, the hollow foil cardboard, the die cut, and then on the back you get a serial number too. Like there's so many different levels to it.
Yeah, and a nice big serial number as well. Chef Young Walter clarifies he was talking about the Premier Dual Auto. Thank you, Chef Young Walter. Rage says, yep, if it was exquisite, like Adam said, it would be 122K instead of 22K.
He's right.
Talking about the dual Jordan LeBron Premier. This one right here is what we're talking about. How about this Shohei Donruss Optic Gold Vinyl Auto Rookie one of one. I don't know how this is only 25.5 with a non-sticker auto, a humongous auto, a gold vinyl 101. I love Optic rated rookie. By the way, to me, that's like my favorite of all the Panini.
Yeah, I love it too.
Of all the Paninis, like
I love it.
I like it better than the Prisms. I just love the looks of these cards. I love the rated rookie logo. Maybe that's part of it. But Adam, I mean, for 25.5 on this, and again, I don't know, how all the different is this not licensed? Is that the problem?
Yeah, it's Panini. So
That's the thing. Okay, that makes sense now. Yep. Sorry, I understand it now, guys. I understand why it's at 25.5. I think that's a big reason. Adam, what do you want to say?
Well, as you say, I think that the path that you're going down is really interesting, though, because correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody's going to know this in the chat, and I should know this. Isn't his Bowman Chrome rookie? Isn't his big card from Bowman Chrome? Isn't that also 2018 or is that 2017?
Ooh, I think it's 18.
I think it's 2018, and maybe it's not. But if his superfractor was to show up today, right? His superfractor out of Bowman Chrome that's autographed. Like, if it shows up today, it's probably $1 million, in the millions of dollars, right? This one has the same sort of pattern, has the nice autograph, is also numbered out of 1, has him in his pro uniform that's airbrushed, right? That's the thing is you're going to say, well, you don't see the full jersey. It still says Los Angeles on it. It's got a lot going for it, man, but it's 1/40th the price, or it's 1% of the price, something like that.
And I think that is what it has going for it, is that it's 1/40th the price. I'll also note it is a raw card. It seems to be uncirculated. It's in the original Panini top or one touch, it looks like, but it is significantly off-centered top to bottom. If you haven't noticed that, I just want to call that out. Note that, but it's a 1 of 1. Shouldn't matter. It might matter on the price, but it shouldn't matter on its desirability or the pool, the amount of people that would be interested in purchasing it. I think
can we look at the back real quick? Not necessarily because of what Rage said, but I just want to see what it looks like being an unlicensed card. Does it give us any stats, or is it?
Yeah, professional pitching totals right there. Yeah.
I mean, that looks like what I want it to look like, honestly, other than it doesn't have the MLB logo. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. And I'm with you on the rated rookie. Like, the rated rookie is timeless, and it points to that. You don't have to look at it and be like, is it a rookie? It just says it right there. It's 1 of 1. And Jeremy, who's the last baseball player that we talked about as much as we've talked about Shohei Otani in this last 24 months?
It's got to be like Mike Trout, if it's not like a Babe Ruth or a Mantle.
Yeah, it might be Trout, or it might even go back to like, I don't know, it might even go back to like Ichiro and Pujols back in the early 2000s. Like, it's been a while. I mean, he's so.
Oh, I thought you meant us here on the show.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I popped open this card because I'm a big fan of just patch cards, game use patch cards without autos, or I got lots of that in my collection. I love them. I'm not against autographs, but I love them. And this is just a beautiful card that if it had an autograph, if this had an autograph, Adam, is this in the six figures? Because it's exquisite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is 03 exquisite. If this was like, if what you're asking is if there was a number to 10 patch auto from 03 exquisite of Michael Jordan, what would it be worth? Well, the last time we saw a number pieces that was a high grade, it sold for over $500,000, and that's to 23. So yeah, I think it would be well into the six figures, Jeremy.
Yeah, this is actually a triple patch. I just realized
it's a triple.
That there is one of those just has the Bulls logo right here in the bottom right. They preserved one little dime-sized piece of patch and gave us three of them. It's called the Patches Triple. It is a BGS 9. You can see those markings on the BGS slab. Okay. They're always in the same place. Just note that. You can also buff that out yourself with Scratch X 2.0. It's great to clean up your slabs for sure.
So sorry. I was just gonna say on this card, if that fourth quadrant was filled with patch, it would be out of 3. And then even though it's just a patch, it is a huge card because remember, this isn't just exquisite. This is the first year of exquisite, and people like I only have one card from 03 exquisite. It's like I feel like I'm this big basketball card collector. I have one card from 03 exquisite because it's just so beloved, and there's these crazy buyers out there for it. So what's interesting on this one, Jeremy, is there's a Jordan quad patch from the next year, 04. And the question that I was asked, it's a 1 of 1. I was asking going into this auction, which is better? Is it the 03 that's to 10 or the 04 that's to 1? And I don't know which one's going to end for higher. I think that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I would prefer the quad, but the trio is still very nice. I just love the looks of these, whether it's Upper Deck Ultimate or Exquisite, the Cup and Hockey. They just make such beautiful patch cards. They really do.
Mike Nunny needs a Kobe, and a lot of people need a lot of that rare 03 Kobe stuff because they look at it as like these key inserts from Kobe's career, from this like very key issue. Most people don't have even like a base card to call their own from 03 exquisite because it's such a big deal.
All right, let's look at this Upper Deck Ultimate LeBron rookie card with the auto. The auto looks pretty good. It's not perfect to me in terms of the ink holding up. It's like at 97% sort of thing, but it's still very strong. Probably grades a 10. It does 9.5. And this card is numbered out of 250. We talk about this card a lot, Adam. We see it regularly. I think it's just beautiful. I think it's as nice, if not nicer, than the SP Authentic rookie card. Which one do you like more? I've asked you this before, but this or that, Ultimate or SPA?
SPA if it's the 1 out of 50, the limited. But
that's not what I mean.
But if it's not the 1 out of limited, by far the Ultimate because it's got the holofoil.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. The holofoil. 25,750. There has been a half bid placed on that card already. Okay, let's go into some new territory here, guys, for the evening. Let's scroll through. This is page 3. Okay, we've seen a lot of this. Let's go to page 4. We haven't really looked at page 4 yet. Auction's updating. It's not over. No. 18 seconds left in the current 1 minute extended bidding window. We've got a Jordan Love Optic Gold 1 of 1 licensed, I believe. Yes, licensed Green Bay Packers. This is a beautiful card. 92.50. Is this a rookie? When's his rookie year? Is it early?
It is. It is a rookie. Yeah, because it's got the rated rookie
right there. Oh yeah, rookie right there. This to me, this is the Jordan Love card for me, guys. I love it. I love the Jordan Love. Pun not intended.
It's certainly the Jordan Love Optic card, the best of the best. I had the same card of Trae Young. It was just the plain rated rookie, gold vinyl, 1 of 1, and I sold that Trae Young for $40,000. I mean, that was one of the biggest sales I've ever had. So the question here, obviously, Jeremy, like, how do you feel about Jordan Love? Because as far as his plain 1 of 1s go, I'm talking like just the card, like it's the Prism Black, and then I don't know if there's anything else that comes before this. It's really high on the list.
I like I said earlier, I love Optic. I love the rated rookie logo. That has so much nostalgia for me, and I just like the way it looks. So to me, I like gold 1-of-1s more than I like black 1-of-1s, just the way they look in hand. So I would go with this one all day long. And gosh, so many cards just I'm not buying because I just can't afford them. Ace of Grade says very nice match with the Packers colors. I agree that yellowish, greenish, all goes, gold is in the yellow family, let's say. All look very, very nice. Let's keep scrolling. We should talk about Ovechkin for a moment because Alex Ovechkin is currently like 20 goals away from the all-time goals record, which is I think 896, 894, 896 that Gretzky holds. And I'm getting a lot of people asking me, when's the time to sell Alexander Ovechkin cards? And the funny thing is that if we give advice to somebody on when the right time to sell is, doesn't that mean that the corollary advice is that it's not the time to buy, right? Like we always talk about it that way. When's the right time to sell? We don't often talk about when's the right time to buy. And I don't know. For me, I think the right time to sell Ovechkin is like between now and him breaking the record. But is that maybe it'll go up from there? I don't know. I think the time to buy Ovechkin is like, a year after he breaks the record is the time to buy it, in my opinion. After that, but still, they come up when they come up. This is a BGS 9.5. I think the price on this right now is actually pretty, like, I say this because is a BGS 9.5 a gem mint card like a PSA 10 is a gem mint card? Yes, in most cases they are. All else being equal, graders being, sober and focused, they should be. But the prices, the market tells you otherwise. So is this a PSA 10? I don't know. But what I'm really saying is this undervalued because it's in BGS 9.5 holder. Now, corners are a 9. So that would cause it some challenge to cross over to a PSA 10. But everything else is gem mint or better. In any event, if the damage to the corners or the corners imperfection are not that egregious, this is a great opportunity to get into like one of his key rookie cards with an on-card auto for $9,300 today. It's sold. The auction's over, guys. The auction is over.
Is it?
The auction's over.
Wow.
Auction is over, everybody.
I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to say about the Ovechkin, but we can forget that.
Well, no, say it. I mean, listen, we're not going to wrap up the show yet. I want to talk about a few more cards, even though the auction's over, and that's okay, guys. Actually, Adam, we kind of did this show differently. We had Ryan join us. That's okay. Yeah. Everybody knew where to go to see all the cards. What did you want to say about the Ovechkin?
Well, I was just going to say, I go the other way just a little bit on it, being that it was graded so long ago. I mean, that card was graded, I'm just guessing here, but I think that serial number is about 2008, 2007. And so it's been in that holder for 17 years, 18 years. And to me, like, I love that. I always will be nervous forever about like things being manipulated, altered, and grading companies missing that, because we've seen that over the last decade. We've seen them get things wrong. But something that's been in that holder for that long has that assurance that it hasn't been touched by human hands since then. Now, could it have been altered or affected sometime before that? Yes, but I just think the odds of that are so much lower, like so much lower. So I'm going to say a controversial thing. I like that card more than a PSA 10. Personally, I do.
No, and you bring that insight, and listen, to the same extent that, well, maybe not to the same, but I consider you to be sort of I don't know if the word expert is almost too strong, because it's like you're just going by the numbers, but you are an expert on looking at a Beckett serial number and having an idea when it was graded. I'm not an expert at PSA, but I have a decent idea on some of those serial numbers. So I respect that opinion a lot. And $9,300 for that card that in a PSA 10 is doing, I think, 15 to 20. Yeah, that's a steal. It's a savvy purchase, even though some people will say, but it's not a PSA 10, guys. No, it isn't, you guys. But the card inside the slab is basically the same as a card inside a PSA 10 slab. It might even be nicer to the overgraded PSA 10s. And don't fool yourself. There are overgraded PSA 10s, of course.
And most of those PSA 10s have been graded way after 2006 or 2007.
Yeah. Nate Flesher made a comment about the 0405 Exquisite Enshrinement MJ out of 25. It's a beautiful card. We'll see if we can go ahead, Adam.
I'm sad we didn't get to that one in time, because that's the nicest autograph set ever made. I love that set.
And Ace of Grade says, as you said earlier, I think Premier and Ultimate are underrated. I'd take the Ovechkin Ultimate Auto out of $299 over the Future Watch. He makes a good point. The Ultimate Auto Ovechkin is a very similar card to this SP Authentic Future Watch.
It is
nice, lots of negative white space, beautiful card, great spot for the autograph, but it's out of like 30% and it sells for less. I think the Ultimate, to Ace of Grades, I think the Ultimate is the savvier purchase.
Why does the Ultimate sells for less than the SP? Because it says Future Watch.
Adam, hashtag the hobby. That's all I can say.
Okay.
To that.
Yeah,
Hashtag the hobby.
And I know that you guys have your Young Guns and your Future Watch and your the Cup stuff, and I get that, but man, like I'm with you 100% on that.
I love the looks of this Superfly Victor Wembanyama card. It's a 1/1 superfractor, PSA 10, Topps Chrome. I just think this is a gorgeous card, and I kind of feel, Adam, like Topps is, and this isn't a critique. It's just an observation that they, and Upper Deck does it too. You take a winning formula and you apply it to as many things as you can, right? And they're doing that here. But I think that just makes for more hits and quality hits. And they're not going to stop it, guys, because this is how they sell product, by having more hits. So don't ever think they're going to reverse the amount of hits, or by taking the superfractor technology and applying it to non-base cards and now doing the inserts and all that. That's only going to I think they're only going to start doing that more and more. So keep that in mind. It might dilute certain things, but again, there's only one base card and so forth.
I saw a really smart person say, they have to make way more than they made back in the mid 2000s. They have to. Like there's too many people who want the stuff that they have to make way more products. So are you suggesting, Hobby, that they just have one superfractor from the base set and none others, and that they just make 10 times the supply? And some hobbyists will say, well, I don't think they should make 10 times the supply. Well, congratulations. You've just made people buy the product and then flip it for 10 times as much on the secondary market, because that is what will happen. That's how this works, is that there has to be enough supply to fill that demand. And if there's not, then prices will soar. So I think they sort of have to do what they've done because the hobby's gotten so big. And I personally do not mind it. It's an insert. We know it's not like trying to be the base card. It's an insert. It is a superfractor. And in this case, it sold for something that's far more, far easier to digest than, what is the Black Prism Wemby sell for? Is it $1 million card? Like, it's a huge number. We saw not even the black one, but the Black Shimmer sell for over $500,000, right? So I appreciate it. And I think it's cool. I think it's a cool card.
It is a cool card for sure. Stephen Ho in the chat says, Jeremy and Adam, you guys convinced me on the 2018 Donruss Optic Gold Vinyl Otani 1/1, another exception for the PC with an unlicensed card. Aha. Great show as always. Thank you, Stephen Ho. Always good to see you, our friend.
Congrats, buddy.
I had at the National a couple of years ago, he took me and some other people out for a beautiful dinner. And Stephen Ho is just a class
He's awesome.
act.
That is awesome.
Michael here says Young Guns, Future Watch, and the Cup RPA rule the hobby roost in hockey. Yes, those are three different ones. Young Guns, Future Watch, and the Cup RPA. They do rule the roost, but there's some sneaky good cards out there too. You guys, some sneaky good. Mike Nunny wants to know what the Black Mamba sold for. We will get to that, Mike. Chef Walter says more precision for the collector is required. Couldn't agree more. And Nate Flesher advises the Black Mamba sold for $96,000 and the Kobe for $87,000 on the silhouette. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate that.
Jeremy, I really did think long and hard about the silhouette. I've gotten no less than 10 texts saying, "Are you going to go for it? Are you going to go for it?" Because a lot of people knew that I was interested in it, but I had to think about what I had to sell to get there, and it would have been some huge cards, and I just couldn't do it, but I'm going to regret it. I know. My hope is that this brings another one out.
You've done so much consolidating lately in your collection that just sit tight, be happy with what you've got. You know what I mean?
I know. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I didn't get to talk about this PSA 8 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky that sold for $10,500, which is significantly less than what we've seen them sell for recently, and deservedly so. This is a very weak PSA 8. So to the buyer, I think you know, or to the buyer, the buying pool, the people that didn't continue to bid past 10.5, good for you, because these have been going for like 13, 14, 15 grand. But this is a very, very, very old slab. This is like from the mid 90s probably, or the 94, 95 maybe. This is a very, in my opinion, this is a very weak PSA 8. Just look at the centering. It's not good centering. And listen, I like a rough cut, but this left edge is it's too rough for my collection. Some people love it that way. You know, fisheye on the M there. I'm just not crazy about this copy at all. I don't know if it's a 7 nowadays. I just don't know. So, but I call it out because, you know, I had a couple of people ask me about this card during the week, and so I'm familiar with it. I've taken a good look at it already.
Let's not skip the Jackie Auto. Let's go back to the Jackie Auto real quick, because we didn't get to hit that one.
Oh,
yeah, I love this card. I love it.
Go ahead. 24,600 it sells for. It's a 55 tops, which is a beautiful year. I love 55 tops baseball. I like it more than 56, which is a lot of people love 56. Our good friend Matthew Rocker loves 56. Beautiful card. A facsimile autograph here, and then it looks like a pretty faded ballpoint autograph here. Adam, what are your thoughts on this piece?
Yeah, I love what you said. We both love 55. We love the gradient. We always talk about that. This copy is actually a pretty high grade autograph. You don't see a lot of autographs from this era where the card's graded a 3. You get a lot of authentics. A 3 is a pretty strong grade for this card. I haven't looked at the pop, but I think it's pretty strong. The autograph is light, but I just love cards like this where you get the facsimile that was printed on the card with the autograph that he signed right above it. I just think it's really cool. And you're right. The autograph's faded. If the autograph had been a really nice, sharp blue autograph, this card's probably quite a bit more money. But if you're somebody who cares about the condition of the card with the autograph on it, it's one of the better copies for the price that I think you'll ever have a chance at.
There you have it, guys. It's there's not many of these out there, I don't think, where you have the autographs, you know, these vintage Jackie autograph on cards. There are some, but not a ton. So you buy them when you can, for sure. Adam, we do have some this or that's lined up and ready to go. Before we do that, I want to go to the first page, and we are going to sort this whole auction by highest price, guys. And we still have over 160 people with us right now. So what happened here? Premier auction closed. There we go. Highest price. So let's take a look. Oh, yeah, Michael's right here. It does look like a shadow of the facsimile auto, which is pretty cool that they used the right autograph. I mean, that's pretty cool too for the facsimile. Okay, the biggest card of the night was the playoff contenders champ ticket. Tom Brady sells for $198,000, followed by a PSA 8 Michael Jordan 84 star 101, 192, followed by the Michael Jordan jersey auto from 1998, numbered out of 23, sells for $168,000. The beautiful Babe Ruth 33 Gaudy number 181 sells for $156. The gold auto 86 Fleer Jordan rookie sells for $114, while the LeBron James black refractor out of 500 does $102,000. We have six-figure cards here so far. Do we have 7, 8, or 9, Adam? Take a guess. I don't know.
I think we just got 6.
He's right. We have the next one up is the 09 Exquisite Michael Jordan LeBron James quad patch dual auto at a 23 does $96K, as does the Black Mamba Kobe. Wow, $96,000, $90,000 on the Jordan LeBron dual. Adam, you want to jump in?
I just want to jump in and say that power of the PSA 10 just keeps. It never ceases to amaze me. That, like, I love the Black Mamba card. I said it's my second favorite of the auction, but it's sitting right next to the two guys, right? The duel of the two guys with patches and autographs and an authentic grade, and it's sold for the same price. Like, that's really interesting.
We have the duo right here. Jordan LeBron does $90,000. The Kobe silhouettes 87. The Luka NTRPA 81,000. And this Mickey Mantle PSA 7 with above average eye appeal gets $78,000. A pair of Patrick Mahomes 2017 NT RPAs, 1 out of 15, not a true rookie card, gets 75. 1 out of 25, not a true rookie card, gets $72,000. These actually sold closer than I'd expect, with this being out of 15 and this being out of 25, which is like 60% of the print run with a third color. I'm surprised this didn't sell for like 20,000 more instead of 3, Adam. That's very interesting to me.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah,
So
what am I missing?
This is my guess, and I could be wrong, but like I've seen these cards in hand many times. The aesthetics of the hollow silver, it is light years, like way better in my opinion. But I agree with you. Like the fact that you've got 3 colors versus 2, I agree. I would have thought this was farther apart, but aesthetics won that battle in keeping it that close, in my opinion.
Jordan SPX promotion hologram auto, $72,000. The Jordan LeBron dual auto does 72. The Kobe impeccable numbers out of 866. Wow. Patrick Mahomes contenders Super Bowl 1 of 1, 66K. LeBron James gold prism, 66. LeBron James superfractor unlicensed, 66.
Wow.
What I think is a much nicer Patrick Mahomes card versus these two up here sells for $63,000. That's the flawless Charizard. Hello Zard. That's what the cool kids call him now, the Zards.
Jokic. Look at the Jokic. Whew.
57.6 on the Jokic, and
big number.
57.6 on the Herbert NFL Shield, Adam.
Jokic is so interesting, Jeremy, because there's not very many big cards of his, but that's one of them in the Premier. Like that's a big Jokic sale right there. In my opinion, that's a big sale.
And here's I think this is this page 2? Did I click? Yeah, this is page 2, going from highest price to lowest. We got some RPAs at the top: McDavid, Anthony Edwards, Josh Allen from 49 to 55K. Lamar Jackson gold prism numbered 8 of 10 sells for 45.6.
Can I make a comment?
And so forth, guys.
Can I make a comment on the Lamar Jackson just real quick? Yeah. Somebody said in the chat, "Oh, I can't believe that's selling for so much." There was a black label that sold for for not that much different. The jersey number really matters on stuff like this. And I don't know if that was it. I don't know if I read his whole comment right, but like when you've got jersey numbers in some of those things, you've got a separate variable. And I always talk about this. When you have multiple variables, it's hard to sort of pull apart why the collector valued one more than the other. But in this case, it might not just be the grading company.
Fair enough. Good point. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's play some this or that, you guys. You ready, Adam?
I haven't seen him this week. Usually you prep me, but I haven't seen him.
I usually send him a preview of what the this or that's are, guys. I didn't work. I think I got 7 of them. So I think we go through them pretty quick with the auction being over. But here we go. This or that number 1. Would you rather have the 1933 Gaudy baby? Hold on. Before I continue, the interesting here, Adam, is we have final prices now.
Yeah.
So we know what they're. So the Babe Ruth number 181 in a PSA 8, or the Mickey Mantle true rookie, it's his only rookie card, PSA 7. Which would you rather have? Chat, please let us know which one you prefer. I'm going to go to the pricing now, and let's see. I guess did they both hit page 1? I think they did.
They did.
Yeah, they definitely both hit page 1. So let's go back to page 1, and let's bias some people. So the Babe Ruth did 156 and the Mantle did 78. So it doubled the price. Oh boy. Yeah, hard. Once you know the pricing, it kind of changes it, right? Yeah. Like, how do you not take the Babe Ruth in this case? I think I do too, especially since the Mantle has that scuffing on the elbow. What about you, Adam?
Well, 18 years older and in an 8, right? Like an 8 on that card is just really unbelievable. So for me, like, I love the Mantle, but I'm the Ruth as well on this one. And that doesn't have anything to. I will ignore the pricing. I won't even consider it because, and I know you're the same way. It's more about, does this fit in my collection? Would I like it more? I love both of them and would love to. I owned a man. I think I've told you this. I owned a 51 Bowman Mantle about 20 years ago, and I love that card. But but the Ruth here is the answer for me.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the Ruth I want really bad. It's on my want list. I have a Mickey Mantle already, and I love it, and I've owned it for like 17 years now.
Wow.
So it's hard for me to say I don't want that, but knowing the pricing is really messing with my head right now, you know?
Maybe don't look it up, and then we can look it up after.
Yeah, we could do that. The other thing I'll say is that if I could only own one card, I would go with the Mantle. If I could only own one of these, I'm going with a Mantle. Never mind, this is an 8 and that's a 7. If I was only allowed to own one of these two cards, I'm going with the Mickey Mantle because there's other babes I want more, and there aren't many Mantles I want more than this one. So, including the 52, I prefer the 51. That's a case where I want the rookie card.
When we did sorry, and I totally interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, I was done.
Okay, so when we did the Iconic 100, I voted the Mantle the 7th most iconic card ever made, the 51. I love this card, but I was really shocked because the Ruths, now we included all 4 33 Gaudy Ruths in the same spot for the vote. The Ruth actually finished 4th, and it's because I think people see Babe Ruth as this like.
But you had all 4 together, didn't you? They were all one?
Yeah, they were all one, but
yeah,
you only got to vote once though, and so it finished higher than the Mantle did, not because there were multiple spots to vote for it, but because people love that card and love those cards. And so the real story to me is this: people don't view the Mantle as his most iconic card, which I think is correct. Yep. But people do view the 33 Gaudy Ruth as his most iconic card.
But not this one. That's
not this one. Not this one. You're right about that.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, let's go to the next one. So first of all, from you guys in the chat, we have three votes: Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth. Young Walter. We often do. The auction just ended quick, and we were too deep into discussion, so we don't do it that way.
Part of that's my fault, Jeremy. I'm so sorry that I had to be late today.
Paul Skeens, Gold Refractor 1 of 1, or the Barry Bonds Precious Metal Gems. I'm not going to go look at pricing on these right now, and I don't remember what it was. If I could only own one, I'm going to go first, Adam. If I could only own one of these, it's really easy for me, guys. I'm taking Barry Bonds because I don't know that Paul Skeens is going to have a long career or continue at the pace he has been. So I'm going with Barry Bonds. Again, easy choice for me, simply because we don't know what Skeens is. Adam, do you want to give? Adam, can you give your opinion? Can you take about 90 seconds to give it so that I can?
Yeah, sure.
And come right back.
I'm going to surprise Jeremy and the chat on this big time, because I actually am going to take the Skeens. It's difficult to not take the Bonds. One of my best cards in my whole collection is a card from the same design, the Metal Universe Championship in basketball, and just Metal Universe in baseball, and especially because it's the first Bonds Metal Universe Championship. So I think, the very first PMG Barry Bonds. So I think people might be surprised that I'm going to take the Skeens, but here's my take on the Skeens. He's such a big name right now. And sometimes it's just really fun to have somebody who's like the new cool it guy and to have the card of that guy. And so as I look at this one and I see, it's a superfractor, I get that it's not from the Topps product that everybody, wants, like the main Bowman Chrome or something like that. But it does have that RC symbol. It is a Gem 10. The autograph on it looks great and is on card. The superfractor is sort of undefeated. And if Skeens ends up being what some people believe he has the chance to be, then unlike the Bonds, it's really like one of his very best cards. I mean, some people would say the Bonds, it could be like viewed as his best card, but like his one of ones, I think will always be better. For Skeens, it's really towards the top for his canon of cards.
As I turned off my camera and thought about it, I was questioning my really quick answer on this, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I would take a risk in this case actually and go with the Skeens card. It's a beautiful card. It's an on-card auto. From what I'm no maven on baseball, but from what I'm hearing and the bits I've seen, this guy is the real deal. Maybe I would go with the Skeens and just, take a bit of a risk. But here's what you guys said. We have 1 vote for Bonds and 3 for Skeens. 3 for Skeens right there with USMNT. Chef Walter says the tough part is that even if you succeed as a player, the spotlight might not stay on you. That's a good point. And another vote for Skeens right here from David G. So, all right, let's keep going, Adam. Let's go to the next one, guys.
Let's
And
do
I
it.
love that you don't know what they are. I don't love that you don't know what they
It
are.
is fun.
I don't, and I did these like a week ago, so I don't even remember what they are. Next one up. Okay.
Oh, this is fun. I like this.
Couple of Jordan autos, you guys. We got the
Oh.
SPX promotion. It's the holograms with the on-card auto and a great image of MJ. And I couldn't put them horizontal just the way this graphic is made up. So, use your imagination, make it horizontal. And we've got the autographed 86 Fleer. Now, which one would you rather have? These exact two cards, because the autographs are very pertinent to this particular this or that. Adam, let's start with you.
We've got like 120 people still in the chat, and like 4 people are voting. We got to get more people to say what they think. You guys always make the chat always make the show, by the way. So thank you guys for all of your engagement in the show. So this is really hard for me. This is like so difficult for me. I'm like still debating it right now. I just love pack pulled autographs, Jeremy. I do. I love pack pulled. It's always been my thing. But man, I love that gold autograph. And that's the basketball card, man. I'm going with the SPX. I know it's worth a lot less, but I hold strong to that pack pulled autograph thing. Everybody can think it's crazy, but I love it.
Man, I like your answer. For me, I love pack pulled as well. I recognize there's something very special about an IP auto Jordan on his 86 Fleer, the second most iconic card, maybe third most iconic card in the whole hobby after Mantle and Honus. And some might argue it's the number 1 most iconic card in the hobby, actually, right? Like,
I think it's third too. I agree with you.
Yeah, I put it at 3.
It's no further than 3 though. It's top 3 in anybody's list.
Yeah. And, the centering of the card does hurt it. The gold auto is thick, but I like it. But that Sharpie, that thin Sharpie auto on the SPX is just beautiful. I don't usually like hologram cards, so that hurts it for me. I am not a big fan of this particular die cut pattern. I'm not a big grand finale guy because of that either. I don't love these horizontal die cut hologram cards. I'm going with the rookie. I'm going with the 86 Fleer. I'm going with the 86 Fleer. I feel weird calling it a rookie, but I'm going with the 86 Fleer. And you're going with the SPI? Okay, let's see what the chat said.
I am, but it's real split.
Chef Walter, SPX. Linda's first, SPX. Pack pulled auto, like Adam said. Ira Culver is taking SPX. Dylan Rantucci is taking the RC. Chef Walter says pack pulled, better eye appeal, and the 86 Fleer is just so saturated. Great point. USMNT is taking the Fleer. David G SPX and Mike Nunya pack pulled for the win. So pack pulled, Fleer, pack pulled, Fleer, SPX by a landslide, guys. By a landslide.
I think it's close though. I really do think that was a good one, Jeremy. That was a really good one.
Ladies man is here. He's taking the RC as well. All right, let's go to the next one, you guys. Adam, here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Surprise. Kobe, a couple of Kobe's. We've got the Essential Credentials or the Rubies. Adam, I'm going to start this one off. Essential Credentials. It's an easy one for me. I don't even know where they fall relative to each other value-wise. Essential Credentials for me. How about you?
Yeah, this one, your last one was really good. This one's clearly the Credential. I mean, to me, I think it's clearly the Credential.
Well, Credentials out of, I think, 74, and
right.
Rubies out of 45.
The Rubies is rarer. The Rubies is rarer, but third year of numbering versus first year of numbering, just so iconic. Second year in the league. To me, it's pretty easy. It's the Credentials here.
It is to me too. And just what you just said about third year numbering, first year in the league, those things, like those are, I think the first year in the league is more important. Third year numbering, that doesn't make much of a difference to me. I don't think. I want to think about it a bit more. The winning criteria here for me is simply the way that it looks. It comes down to the presentation for me. So what do we have here? I like Chef Walter's another landslide here. He's taking the root. Oh no, that's Diamond. Diamond Card Collector's taking the Rubies.
Wow.
Dylan Rantucci's taking the Credentials. Linda's first son, Michael, is taking the Credentials, as is Ira Culver, as is Mike Nunya. Diamond says, I just love Rubies. You be you, Diamond, and I know you will be. Yeah. All right. So there. Oh, but Chef Young Walter never tells us which one he's taking. He just has another landslide. I think he must. I mean, we assume he's talking about the credentials.
Yeah.
So we'll stick until you tell us otherwise, young Walter. We'll leave it at that. Okay, let's go to the next one, Adam. Ready?
Yes.
Boom. Flawless for me
Ooh.
all day long. Flawless for me all day long. How about you?
Now remember, I'm not answering yet. I got to think about it. But remember, in this year, flawless is not game used.
Yeah.
Flawless is always game used in basketball. Always, always, always. Everybody tells me I'm wrong about that. And then every time I ask somebody, can you point to me a basketball card in flawless that's not game used? No one can do it. So if anybody here can, that'd be great. But in football, it's often not. And this is not game used for Mahomes. And this is the parallel. You're not going to like it, Jeremy. I'm taking the NT here. I am. Sorry. I'm doing it.
Okay, guys. Adam's got to go. Thanks for coming to the show, Adam. It's been nice having you. Just kidding.
This is a good one. This is a really good one. Aesthetically, it's the flawless all day long, but I gotta go with the NT because it's the parallel of the true rookie, and I know you don't like that, but I do.
No, no, for me, I don't, but that's okay. Here we go. I'm just gonna go look at the back of the card on the NT. I just want to see what it says from my own two eyes.
It's not game used.
The enclosed player worn material, and you're sure about the flawless, right?
Yeah, but we should go look at it. I'd like to see what it says.
Okay, hold on. I found the card here. I'll just tell you because
sure.
Yeah, just to make the managing this easier. The
player
flawless, the reverse of the flawless says player worn. So both the same. They're both player worn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for that, in that case, I'm taking the card I like the looks of better, and I certainly like the looks of the flawless better. Okay, let's see what you guys say. What do we got here? Okay, flawless baby for diamond card collector. Yeah, diamond card. Chef Walter says that's a great point. I don't know what the point was he's referring to, but I'm sure it was a great one. Dylan Rantucci's take tough one, but slight edge to NT due to game use. It's not game used. Dylan. It's not game used.
It's not.
Ira's taking NT. Young Walter's taking NT. 3-color patch. Not game used. Not game used, guys. Not game used. Diamond says that NT used to be mine. Hilarious. Flawless for Linda's first. Flawless for Michael Steinberg. All right, guys, let's go to the next one. Boom. We got Brady versus Mahomes.
Good one.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like him. That makes me feel good. It's the Brady refractor rookie from Bowman Chrome versus the Donruss Optic Gold Patrick Mahomes. I believe it's out of 10.
10.
So 1 out of 10. This is not so I'm as if you can see, you can't see what I'm doing on top of these overlays, but the Brady is unnumbered. The Mahomes is out of 10. Which way are you going on these ones, Adam?
Gosh, I hate this one. This one's really good, man. This is really good. I don't know, man. Can you give me a second? Can I think about this one a little bit longer?
I'm gonna go cheat and see what they sold for if I can find it quick enough.
Can I break down why it's tough for me?
Yeah, please.
Like, I love this Brady so much because it's his only rookie refractor. Like it's the second most iconic football card of the last 25 years, in my humble opinion. I don't think it's close. I don't think any number 3 is even close. For Mahomes, this is not iconic. It's not his prism, but dang it, it's his true gold rookie card out of Optic. And that's really nice, man. Like this is really a tough one for me. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just like so
sit on it for a sec. I'm going to just say that, like, I love this Brady card. I absolutely love it. It's the Brady rookie I would want. I used to want the SP Authentic for the longest time, but I'm talking like 15 years ago sort of thing. Yeah. Now, well, maybe not that long ago, say 10 years. No, yeah, say 10 years ago. Now, I want this one. But you got to look at the print run. That might be the biggest factor here. They're both beautiful to look at. I love Optic, as I've said a few times tonight. I love the rated rookie. Patrick Mahomes is no slouch. He will go down as a top 5 quarterback of all time already, I believe. So with that said, in this case, and I will admit, I know what they sold for, so that is skewing me a little bit. I'm taking the Mahomes.
I'm also taking the Mahomes, and it's because I have to hold true to my identity of like, I'm a rare card collector. I love rare cards, and I think I'd get the Brady and be like, this is awesome, and I love it. And then I think I'd see him selling every day, and I think I'd get tired of it. But the Mahomes.
So what about the fact, Adam, that this is not Mahomes' only gold out of 10 Panini card?
I know,
that's
dude.
That's a knock against it, right?
It is.
There are other options. There are no other really options. Well, Brady's got a lot of rookie cards, but he doesn't have another like chrome refractor.
I know. If it was the Mahomes Prism Gold, though, it's like several $100,000. So that's why I mean, that if it was that, I would just vote for that, and it wouldn't even be close. But this is maybe like his second best true gold rookie, and that's why I'm like, I'd rather have Brady than Mahomes, because Mahomes, I like guys that have sort of done their thing. But and the Brady's not a common card. There's not that many of them. But I think the fact that it's out of 10 and it's so rare, I think I'm going to go with the Mahomes by the slightest of margins.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. Linda's first takes Tom Brady. So does Ladies Man. I believe TV is Tom Brady, I think. Ira's taking Brady. Oh, there we go. He fixes it. Tom Brady. Chef Walter's taken, this is a tough one, but he goes with Mahomes. Diamond Card Collector says, I'd take Mahomes because I'd be about to pick another Brady up down the road. But that's still important, which one he would, because he could have said, I'll take Brady and pick up another Mahomes down the road, but he didn't. So that's order still counts.
And Diamond Card Collector, like me, he's a rare card collector. All of his best cards are one-of-one type cards, and this one's a lot closer than the Brady is.
Yeah, agree. He goes on to say, nice, great, and possible cross. Possible for sure. Always a possible cross on a BGS 9.5, I suppose. Although I don't think you're getting a PSA 10 with surfaces a 9. I just don't think so. Every time I've crossed a BGS 9.5 over to PSA, it's always come back a 10. But I haven't done it in about 8 years. Things have changed a lot in this hobby in 8 years, so I can't say that's still the case. Okay, let's go to the next one. Last one of the night, guys. You ready, Adam?
I'm hoping it's basketball.
It's not, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Did I do any basketball? Let's see. We did baseball.
You just did one. You did
baseball, one basketball. Two basketballs.
2 basketballs.
Football, 2 football. So I did 2 baseball, 2 basketball, 2 football, 1 hockey. And here's the hockey one.
You did a great batch of these. These have been so much fun. And I agree with whoever it was who said it'd be great if we could get to it earlier. And again, that was my fault. Sorry about that.
It actually wasn't your fault, Adam. I mean, it wasn't. You were only 20 minutes behind, and it wasn't your fault. We had Ryan here. This show was a different format than we've ever done before, and I think it was great. I think I'm okay with it. In any event,
okay,
we'll try to do them earlier next time, but I don't think it matters too much. It's still fun, and we have a mission during the episode, during the auction being live, to talk about as many cards as we can. So this takes us away from that. It's fun to do it at the end as well. Okay, here we have the SB Authentic Alexander Ovechkin Future Watch Auto out of $9.99, or a Wayne Gretzky PSA 8 that I think is overgraded. I think the Ovechkin is undervalued because it's in the BGS 9.5 holder, and I think the Gretzky is overgraded because it's just not an 8 anymore, in my opinion. So, you want me to? I'm going with the Ovechkin all day long here, guys. It's not even a question. That Gretzky card is just, I would never be happy owning that Gretzky in my collection. I have a PSA 4 that I like more than this 8. No word of a lie. I like my 4 more than I like that 8. So,
remember, Jeremy, grading standards haven't changed.
No, adherence to grading standards has changed. It's a big difference. It's a nuance, and not a lot of people I think standards haven't changed, guys. Adherence to standard changes, I think, by the minute.
I've heard people at PSA talk about that, and I always sort of just laugh a little bit because there's so many of these where I look back and I'm like, guys, but you're right. You're right. Okay. So for me too, it's the Ovechkin. We talked about earlier how much I love that it's been in that holder for so long. And so even though I'm not a hockey guy by any means, and everybody knows the Gretzky, I love a card like that has been in a holder that long. It's just so much more rare than the Gretzky is.
Right on. Can you hear me and see me right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go to you guys. Diamond Card Collector says he's taking the Gretzky. So does all. Has one already, though. Having a little eternal debate here during the Ovechkin. Walter says the OPS Ira is taking the Ovechkin, just like myself. Yeah, so that's the end of the this or that's, guys. We're going to take those off. That's the end. That's it, guys. We're gonna start before we do wrap up.
I'm losing you. Maybe it's just time to say goodbye.
Yeah, if you can, I don't know if anyone can hear or see me right now. I do know I'm having internet issues right now, so we're going.
You want me to take us home?
I think I'm coming back now. I see I've got one more bar there. So, but yeah, anything else you want to mention, Adam? I think I'm back fully now. Anything else you'd like to mention?
I apologize for my crabbiness. When I first got here, we'd lost our basketball game, and I was crabby, and I'm sick. I'm sick and crabby and all sorts of things. So thanks for putting up with my negativity, but it's always great to be with you for one of these shows. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you, Jeremy.
Adam, I love it. You know, I love it, man. I love you and I love it. And, you know, we you know, we're both so passionate about the hobby and about cards and about being here and doing this show. And it's one thing I know from doing about 675 live streams now in my content career is that being interrupted is very frustrating, and it's never it's insulting at times. It's never fun. And one thing I tell a lot of my guests is that let's not interrupt each other. But I'm not perfect, and I interrupt people at times, and I get interrupted at times, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen in a live stream.
You're the best. You're the best at this times a million. I'm, like I said, I meant what I said. I'm grateful every time we get to do this. I wouldn't do this with anybody else. You're my favorite. So keep doing what you're doing. And again, I shouldn't have been so crabby. So, and I interrupted you. I probably interrupt you 10 times for every time you interrupt me, maybe more than that. So again, forgive me for getting a little crabby with you there.
Well, and as I hope you can tell and everybody else watching, I didn't give it a second thought. We moved on and had a great show. So I'm grateful for you doing this for me. We're coming up, guys, on 4 years of doing this show, and we love it. It's Adam's favorite night of the month, and it's up there for me as well. I got lots of favorite nights of the month, but it's a great night, guys. Thank you for the comments coming in. Let's have a look at them. Thank you, Chef Young Walter says, thank you guys so much for another great stream. Appreciate that. Yeah, got that. Thank you, Jeremy and Adam, and thanks to all you hobbyists in the chat. Appreciate that. Michael, Kem Sumner, appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Josh Giddy says, Adam Gray, love you, but not as much as I love Jeremy Lee. You're my guy. Josh Giddy, you're my guy. Josh Giddy, super collector. Thank you, Diamond Card Collector. Appreciate seeing you. Appreciate seeing all you guys in the chat. Always thank you, Laura. Always good to see you in there as well. Okay, another great Fanatics Collect Premier Monthly Auction and Show. I think we did. I enjoyed this a lot tonight, you guys. I really did. It was great to have Ryan Tedmus on. He is with Fanatics Collect. Among other things, he is the eye appeal assessor at Fanatics Collect. So when we can bring him on and ask him what he's thinking when he puts these labels on these cards, it's really helpful because we can only speculate so much. So it's great to have him on to talk about it with as well. So that was great. Mike Nunya, I will not be at the Burbank Card Show. Adam, will you?
You know me well enough to know I'm not going to be there. I just wanted to say real quick, if you're not following Ryan, go do him a massive favor because he's got to be the smartest person in the hobby who doesn't have huge amounts of followers. His Instagram is Ryans_sports cards, and he has an absolutely killer collection and has amazing insights. I got to work with him for the year that I worked full time with PWCC, and he's just wonderful. So if you don't follow him, go follow him. If you could get 10 followers at the same time, that would be amazing.
Right on. Appreciate Mike Nunya. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. And everybody else, thank you for joining, guys. This has been fun. We will be back in February for another episode of the Fanatics Collect Premier Auction Ending Watch Party with Adam Gray, myself, Jeremy Lee, and hopefully Ryan Tedmus can come back. Guys, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend ahead. It's Thursday. It's maybe the best day of the week because tomorrow's Friday, everybody. This episode of Fanatics Collect Fanatics Collect Premier Auctioning Watch Party is now, is now over. Over is the word I'm looking for. Over. Good night, everybody. Adam, hang tight.